of Quintonio Legrier and Betty Jones. The Sun-Times reports the Civilian Office of Police Accountability made that recommendation to Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson last month. A dozen people, including 8 children, are without a home after a fire on the south side. Authorities say the blaze broke out last night in a building in the 8600 block of South Vincennes. No injuries reported. One person's dead after a multi-vehicle crash on the Dan Ryan Expressway. Authorities say the accident happened last night near 79th Street. One person killed, another taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Sears is closing 100 more stores. Sears Holdings said that it will be closing 64 Kmarts, 39 Sears between March and April, with liquidation sales starting as soon as January 29th. The company declined to say how many employees will be getting pink slips, but they are mostly part-time workers, the company says. In sports, in the NHL, Blackhawks host the Las Vegas Golden Knights tonight. In the NBA, the Bulls are in Dallas to take on the Mavericks. The news and service of True Car. You're looking to buy a car? Well, online shopping can be confusing. Not anymore, though, with True Price from True Car. Now, you can know the exact price you'll pay for the car you want and see what other people have paid for it, too. Then, when you're ready to buy a new or used car, visit True Car to enjoy a more confident car buying experience. AM 560 News Time 5:04. A check of traffic in 2 minutes on AM 560, The Answer.
If you've got an Amazon Alexa device, then you know it can do a lot of things. It can set reminders. It can keep track of your shopping list. It can answer unusual questions. And it can also play this radio station. Just say, Alexa, play The Answer Chicago. That's all it takes, and it works on all Alexa devices. The Echo, the Echo Dot, and Amazon Show. So now, Alexa will really have all the answers you need.
The results are in. A survey of Inc. 5000 companies shows the top barriers to growth.
It's taking finance too long to close the books.
So slow to launch new products.
We need to hire good people and keep them.
Too many disconnected systems. I can't see what's happening in my business.
Sounds like they've outgrown their business and financial management systems. QuickBooks and spreadsheets worked fine at the start, but now it takes twice the effort to get things done, and you can't get accurate answers. You should know the #1 system for growing companies, NetSuite from Oracle. NetSuite is the one system that tracks and manages revenue, cash flow, HR, inventory, projects, even e-commerce for every industry. Now you can run your business from a dashboard on your phone. That's why thousands of companies use NetSuite. It's the only system you need to run your business. Go to netsuite.com/radio to get your free guide called Crushing the 5 Barriers to Growth. That's netsuite.com/radio.
Hey guys, Ken here from the hit podcast Today's Growth. Who would win a 3-mile bicycle race, an 11-year-old girl or last year's winner of the Tour de France? It all depends on the bicycle. It depends on their vehicle. Both on a 10-speed and the pro racer is going to win every time. But put the racer on a tricycle and the 11-year-old wins every time. You see, it's not the driver, it's the vehicle. When it comes to generating revenue, it's exactly the same. If you have a job or a small business, you are riding a tricycle. You can only go so fast. If you need to make up lost ground, it's not going to happen on a tricycle. No matter how fast you pedal, it's simply not going to win the race. Why do many people with no schooling and no advanced degree often become very wealthy? Simple. They choose to only ride 10 speeds. When it comes to helping people create their next revenue model, both Forbes and Inc. recommend Income Store as a can't miss when it comes to putting people on a 10-speed. Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that doesn't solely depend on you? If so, you need to check out IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
At 5:06 from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center, here's Jim Talamonte.
Good Friday morning, David. In Bartlett, got a crash 59 at Lake Street, eastbound I-80 at River Road. Right lane is blocked. Got a semi in the ditch there. On the outbound Ryan, there's a crash at 91st in the 2 right lanes. South side, a fire from last night has rekindled this morning, 69th and Aberdeen. Firefighters still busy there at the scene. That was a multi-alarm blaze. Starting Sunday, the CTA raises fares for bus and rail service. Bus rides go from $2 to $2.25. L trains from $2.25 to $2.50, and monthly pass goes up by $5. You have some flight cancellations again today. At the moment, looking at about 75 total in Chicago's 2 airports. Hockey traffic tonight, both in Rosemont and the west side, as both the Blackhawks and Wolves are home. Traffic, service of Staples. Staples has low prices on the organizational solutions your business needs to clear the clutter and focus on the job at hand this year, like banker's boxes, file folders, and storage bins. Less mess equals more success. Visit Staples.com for more. Staples, it's pro time. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer starts next, but now the weekend forecast with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Frigid with a full day of sunshine today. Wind chills as low as 15 below to 25 below zero. Otherwise, we'll have a high today of 11. Clear and bitterly cold tonight, low 4 below zero. Wind chill values of 10 below to 20 below zero. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
It's 4 above at the lakefront, 1 above at Midway, 0 at O'Hare. Wind chills 16 below. Next news, 5:30. Get continuous coverage of the latest news, traffic, and weather at 560theanswer.com. Chicago's Morning Answer starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Dan Proft, Amy Jacobson. Amy, this is a story that speaks for itself, but I'll let you address it.
Well, I was thinking this might be better suited for you to tell our fine listeners, but all right, I'll take a stab at it. I used to live in northern Minnesota as a reporter, and you cover some pretty bizarre stories when you're out in the farmland. If something gets stolen, somebody's tractor trailer was stolen or a backhoe was stolen once. I covered that. There's always silo accidents.
Does everybody up there talk like they do in Fargo, either the movie or the TV series, which is excellent, by the way? With the beginning everything with so and ending everything with all right then or okay then, and that kind of Scandinavian sing-songy. Yeah, exactly like that.
So, yeah, and yaga and dog. Yeah. They do. It's strange because I came from Chicago, so they thought I sounded like Ali Sheedy, and people would write in the news station saying, she's got such a Chicago nasally accent. How can you let her work here? But yet my name was Amy Jacobson, and my main anchor is Bodie, who's in Truth, and Bonnie Waldorfer. And they would say that, let's go out to the Viking Mall Plaza and go to Amy Jacobson. I mean, it was
Too bad the Coen brothers didn't find you back in the mid-'80s when you were part of the Brat Pack with Ali Sheedy.
So the big news this morning coming out of Minnesota is that something was stolen from a farm, something that's very, very unique.
Well, we had one of our rural farmers report the theft of bull semen.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Well, we had one of our rural farmers report the theft of bull semen.
Doesn't sound like he's cracking up about it. Well, sounds like serious business.
Well, it is because so this one farmer in Leroy, Minnesota called police and said, he reported a theft that happened sometime between April 1st and April 7th. And what it was a big milk jug full of bull semen. And you might think that that's not a big deal, but bull semen...
That's a lot of bull semen.
Holy cow!
Bull semen is worth tens of thousands of dollars. And that one milk jug
full of
to
tell me.
Bull semen, stop it, is worth $70,000.
In this case, it's a $70,000 loss just for the semen itself. They would have to have knowledge that, yes, this particular item was in this building and maybe the value of it, too.
You know who I think is responsible?
Who?
This bartender, Paul Fody Fotenhauer, who sounds like he could live in northern Minnesota as well.
Fody Fotenhauer is his name.
He's got a book called Semenology, the Semen Bartender's Handbook, with all kinds of semen-based cocktail recipes. I'm not kidding.
Seriously?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes.
Well, farmers up there in the north use artificial insemination to increase the genetic diversity within their herds.
A lot of farmers these days use artificial insemination to increase genetic diversity within their herds.
Like I just said.
Well, and trying to make this a more urban story, I go back to Fotenhauer, who pointed out semen is often freshly available behind most bar counters and adds a personal touch to any cocktail. But he did make the point, make sure you use trusted semen.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Another cold, frigid, just miserable and deadly, dangerous day, that's for sure. A high only of 9 degrees. If we're lucky, we could hit 13 above. If you factor in the wind chill, it's 10 to 20 degrees below zero. Tonight, clear, low of 4. And your weekend looks like this. Saturday is going to be sunny, highs around 15. But the lowest wind chill readings we've had so far, anywhere from 30 to 40 below zero. And then on Sunday, we get a break. It's going to be downright warm around here. Cloudy, but we'll have a chance of a light snow in the morning, then a chance of snow in the afternoon, anywhere from 1 to 2 inches. And get this, we're going to have highs in the upper 20s. And on Monday, it's going to just be hot around here. It's going to be cloudy and highs in the mid-30s. So that's some good news, but we have to get through the next few days. Now let's jump into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. I'm sure he's toasty warm in his studio. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Good morning, Amy. Good morning. Yeah, it's nice to be in here, but those poor firefighters, the south side of Chicago, it's been a challenging night, especially due to a blaze, which is affecting the area at 69th and Aberdeen. This was a fire which started last night, a multi-alarm blaze, flames shooting through 2 buildings, and that has rekindled this morning, so firefighters remain busy at that scene. There was another fire last night, the 8600 block south of Vincennes. It's challenging conditions for them. And it's not a good morning to be in a crash. There was one on the outbound Rhine at 91st. Just cleared, but traffic's a little slow on the outbound Rhine from 87th to 91st. The inbound side is okay. Eastbound I-80 at River Road, there's a truck in the ditch. The right lane is blocked. The other expressways and tollways right now are okay. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
All right, I have to admit it was an eyesore. The chipping and paint peeling on our front and back porch, it looked awful. But thanks to CertaPro painters, the porch looks brand new. The painters who showed up were professional, respectful. They were done in just a few hours. And when they left, the house looked brand new. They really are the best in the business, and it's not too late to book your painting project. There are several spots open on CertaPro's schedule. Here's an idea. Let CertaPro painters transform your home while you're on vacation and return to a freshly painted house. They're celebrating their 25th anniversary this year, and so we invite you to experience the CertaPro difference. For a free estimate, call 1-800-GO-CERTA, C-E-R-T-A, or visit CertaPro.com, that's Certa with the C. Get that painting project off your to-do list. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated. Call 1-800-GO-CERTA, C-E-R-T-A. CertaPro Painters, we do painting. You do life.
If you have pain, I hope you listen up. Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. You don't need to live in pain. Let me repeat that. You do not have to live in pain. Chronic pain is the worst, whether it's from an accident or pain that just develops. Chicagoland, you're in luck. Dr. Ken Candido is one of the nation's most respected and successful pain doctors. He's been voted one of Chicago's best pain doctors several times. Bottom line, he's the pain doctor you need. Dr. Candido of Chicago Anesthesia and Pain Specialists will help you get off pain medication and all of the side effects. How? By finding the source of your chronic pain and fixing it.
This is Ken Candido of Chicago Anesthesia Pain Specialists. Let's make you pain-free.
Call Dr. Ken Candido and make an appointment with a cutting-edge, respected, and successful pain physician. Go to mypainchicago.com. That's mypainchicago.com. Thousands have been helped with their chronic pain, and you could be the next one. Get the phone number and all the info you need at mypainchicago.com. That's mypainchicago.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Oh, yeah, it's that time of year again. Cold, snowy, just miserable here in Chicago. You know, I just read the forecast. Lows with a wind chill minus 20. But I know where it's warm and sunny. It's going to be a high today of 81 degrees in Riviera Maya, Mexico. And that's where we're heading in 2018. This year with Apple Vacations. And you're invited to come along with us. We'll be staying at the Secrets Maroma Beach Riviera Cancun Resort and Spa. It has 9 gourmet restaurants, 6 bars, unlimited premium drinks, 24-hour room service. It has all the bells and whistles. We're leaving April 21st, returning the 28th. It is a beautiful resort, adults only, and it's situated in Maroma Beach, right next to this gorgeous public beach. And it's recognized as one of the world's best beaches. So get more information and book your trip by visiting 560theanswer.com/passport. The price at Apple Vacations, our good friends over there have secured for us, is incredible and exclusive to us, but it's only available for a limited time. Don't miss out. I know some people who tried to sign up too late last year weren't able to go on the trip, so do it sooner rather than later. Come with us to Riviera Maya, Mexico. Visit 560theanswer.com/passport.
Hola.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
One of the biggest fears for retirees and soon-to-be retirees, do I have enough? Do I have enough money to last for the rest of my life? I hear it every day when I meet with individuals, and it's for good reason. Check this statistic out. If you were born in 1800, you could expect to live until you were 39 years old. In 1900, 49. That number jumped to 68 in 1950, and today it's 79. How many people do you know that are in their 80s, in their 90s? Hi, this is Tom Fortino, host of the Alpha Wealth Hour, heard every Saturday at 9 a.m. here on AM 560. So how do you help ensure you never run out of money in retirement? The answers are in our special report, Maximizing Income in Retirement. In this powerful report, you'll discover successful tools and strategies on how to help turbocharge your income in retirement and how to position and protect your money regardless of what happens in the stock market. Call now to receive this report, Maximizing Income in Retirement, and will include 6 strategies to tax-free income. Call the Alpha Wealth Group, 630-519-4742 right now to receive your free report. That's 630-519-4742.
Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Wealth Advisors, Inc.
I met someone. You hear it a lot from people on Match because more people have met their someone on Match than any other dating app. Everyone wants to find that meaningful connection, and Match is not only #1 in first, but second dates too. Now here's a free offer for our listeners. Go to Match.com/now for 7 days free. That's 7 days completely free to search, view photos, and connect. This free offer is found at Match.com/now. That's Match.com/now. Match.com/now.
Highland Park Ford Lincoln's in the house. Here's Alan Marty.
For 30 years, we've been making people happy with incredible deals and service.
We're the best Ford Lincoln dealers in town.
Because making people happy makes us happy.
No doubt. This is one happy place.
Heck, we just break into dance all the time.
We don't break into dance at the dealership.
Sure we do.
No, we really don't.
We could. Come on, Marty, dance with me.
The Highland Park Ford Lincoln Superstore. Call 1-800-984-9000 or go to alanmarty.com.
Admit it.
Okay, you're a lovely dancer.
Thank you. This is Alan Marty. Deal with us.
AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. And so you were talking about how cold it is here, which is in contrast to how warm it is in Riviera Maya.
I know. It's so cold in Florida. Guess what's happening? Well, you got to do about how cold is it?
How cold is it?
Iguanas are falling out of trees. And they're not necessarily they're not necessarily dead, but if you see the picture, it looks awful. It looks like they're homicide victims because their arms and legs are out. They look dead. They fall on their bellies up, so they fall on their backs, and some of them are still alive, but some are dead.
Yeah, it's like
And
having Jack
bad.
Hanna as my co-host. So it's the.
But it's bad because it's 30 to 40 degrees in
Florida. There's like ice on the trees, and so they slip off, or what?
No, they become paralyzed by the temperature and literally
Just
drop. So watch out for your iguanas this morning.
Yeah.
If you're heading to Florida.
That's
but there's snow in Jacksonville.
Or if you have a pet iguana.
Yeah, and in the Panhandle, there's some stuff. So it's not pretty.
Well, speaking of the cold, this story, local story, has become a national story. This guy at Elgin, Greg Schiller, who we're going to have on the show at the bottom of the 8 o'clock hour, he is in a fight with the city of Elgin over his decision to let local homeless people sleep in his unfinished basement during the last couple of weeks of sub-zero temperatures. He offers them food, warm beverages, cots to sleep on while watching movies. But, of course, this is in contravention of local zoning laws, building codes and so forth. City spokesman Molly Center saying, "We appreciate those who volunteered to provide additional resources in the community. Mr. Schiller's house does not comply with codes and regulations that guard against potential dangers such as carbon monoxide poisoning, inadequate light and ventilation, and insufficient exits in the event of a fire." Well, Molly, I appreciate that, but maybe some of the people that are homeless who are finding shelter in Mr. Schiller's house are less worried about inadequate light and ventilation than they are about not freezing to death.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm all about rules, and I believe without rules there's chaos. But sometimes
you're
you could look
totalitarian.
Well, sometimes you can look the other way, and isn't it his business if it's his home to allow? Isn't it? Because there's people in Niles who they'll all work at the China buffet, and they'll have 20 cots in their basement. So the employees could stay at the house, and then you know about that.
You keep
racket.
working.
You keep, You know about that racket, right? I mean, I must have covered those stories 1,000 times. At Morton Grove or Niles or Skokie, where an owner of a restaurant, he'll have the workers live in the basement, and they're fine with it because there's 2 exits. So
Okay.
right, but so it's their business what they do.
We have
with
big
their
boys
house.
to feed.
So how many people is he housing?
It was just a handful. NBC5 had the story, and then it started to circulate on the interweb there, and I know Drudge picked it up, as did a few other national outlets. So it wasn't just like, oh well, let's see if we can work this out. He was given a cease and desist order by the city.
Things are flying around these days.
Yeah, they shut. Mr. Schiller recounting that they shut me down. They said I have 24 hours to return my basement to storage and take down the several cots, sleeping bags for everybody, or they'll condemn the house. The city will take additional enforcement action to compel the removal of the unlawful basement sleeping area, was the statement Mr. Schiller received in email from the city of Elgin. So we'll do a little kind of straw poll here. You with the city of Elgin, or are you with Mr. Schiller on this one? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Are you a silly heart like me, or are you a Law and Order all the way? Are you a heartless bastard like Amy?
Well, I'm not. No,
Oh,
I'm
no,
not
you're on the
heartless.
side of the
I don't
side.
care. They're calling them sleepovers for homeless. But a little backstory on this. Last year, I remember he had them in his garage. And an EMT came to help one man who had a heart condition. And that's when they said, you can't house people in your garage. So that's why he did the more humane thing and put people or offered up his basement. And I don't think it's their business, the government's business or the, city officials' business to tell him who he can have over for sleepovers. Or slumber parties.
Well, yeah, all right. I'm just inviting some friends over.
Yeah, that's his business.
I never outgrew the fun I had as a child
At a sleepover.
with sleepovers, so I want to relive the experience in my basement with random people.
Well, he's offering them food, and good for him.
Well, as you do in a sleepover.
I know. You're right. It's sleepovers. Yeah. Maybe a movie. I don't know.
You know
we'll
what?
have time before we have to go to bed.
You know what would cement it? You got to do sleepover stuff. So, pillow fights. He should put some itching powder in those sleeping bags he lays out as kind of a gotcha prank.
And when Steve goes to sleep, put his hand in warm water and see if he wets the bed. One of those.
Draw mustaches
Yeah.
on them.
Or
when they're
put,
sleeping.
no, what we used to do. Oh, we're so, all right.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
well,
Mean Girls.
Mean Girls in Mount Prospect. Well, whoever would fall asleep first, that you never fall asleep first at a sleepover.
No, you can't do
we
that.
put whipped cream on their face and then tickled underneath with a feather, and then they went like that and woke up with, stuff all over their face. Mean Girls.
No, that's not. I thought.
And then dip the hand in the hot water to see if she'd wet the sleeping bag.
I thought we were going to talk about how somebody lost a limb at one of your
Oh,
sleepovers.
no.
Come on, that's not that great.
That's not. But I'm glad we're having him on because it's ridiculous that they're going to tell him
Other
to kick or they're going to condemn his building.
Well,
or his house.
Yeah, they seem to be going from zero to nuclear fairly quickly. Other sleepover activities. Other activities he could be doing that would provide the indicia for a sleepover and perhaps provide him with an escape valve for his homeless shelter.
Truth or dare.
We play Truth or Dare all night. That's what we do.
Or 2 truths and a lie. Say 3 things about yourself and say which you guess which ones are true and which one's a lie. That's how you get to know people.
We get in the basement, we turn off all the lights, put a flashlight in somebody's face, and they tell ghost stories. What about that?
Starting with the name of men. Such as. Have you ever played Concentration?
I'm sorry.
Concentration.
No, and apparently neither have you, because you can't focus on the topic. You're off running around playing a game.
Well, now you had me revert back to my sleepover days.
Yeah. See, that's how quickly it can happen, as it did for Mr.
You can play
Schiller.
Pin the Tail on the Donkey.
What about if they went and TP'd City Hall?
Oh. Or egged it. No, TP's better.
Yeah, you
Eggs
don't do
is a little
You got to
dicey.
do fun vandalism, not
Yeah.
unfun vandalism. There's a difference. Other homeless shelters have weighed in on this, but they're not really taking sides. PADS of Elgin confirmed there are requirements to be eligible for their services, but declined to specify what those requirements are. The emergency shelter at First United Methodist Church of Elgin opens when the temperature outside is 15 degrees or less.
Okay.
So the point, I guess, is that there are other certified homeless shelter options, but
a lot of people
maybe
don't-
that's not sufficient. I don't know.
Well, some people don't want to go back to certain homeless shelters because they know other people are going to be there that they don't like. And some just want to be free. Like, they love the freedom of being homeless. But when it's this kind of cold, this kind of deadly cold, and somebody offers up your basement or your garage, you take it. It's inhumane. Elgin is inhumane.
Well, I mean, maybe it's like, it's like having a preference, too. Maybe it's like, I know about pads, and, I just like Schiller's basement.
I choose the sleepover.
Yeah. It's
I
fun.
choose the slumber
There's
party.
more camaraderie. His food's better. I like the fact he's sticking it to the man.
Yeah.
Solidarity, brother. Anyway, we'll talk to Mr. Schiller at the bottom of the 8 o'clock hour to see how his a battle with the city of Elgin is going, and to see if we can give him more advice and counsel on this sleepover cover story he's trying to concoct.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, did you know you need Medicaid for your cats? And later...
No, I didn't.
Oh, wait till you hear this story.
Okay.
And later, what are we going to be doing, Dan?
Governor Rauner, speaking of sleepovers, Governor Rauner and his wife are camping out at Quincy at the Veterans Home. Jane Byrne Redux. Find out if you think that is a compelling way to address the fact that 13 people have died of Legionnaire's disease in the last 2 years at that Veterans Home.
But first, let's go into the newsroom. Say good morning to Dave Stewart, who's been filling in all week for Mike Scott.
Good morning, Amy. Good morning, Dan. 0 degrees, not even one. Outside, minus 16 for the wind chill. 5:30 on AM 560, The Answer. Mostly sunny, cold today, a high of 11. North and South Korea will sit down for talks next week. The January 9th meeting is expected to focus possibly on including North Korea in the upcoming Winter Olympics in South Korea next month. NBC's Bill Neely has insight from London.
The head of U.S. forces in South Korea has warned against raising hopes over North Korea's peace overture. General Vincent Brooks stating simply, "We must keep our expectations at the appropriate level."
There will also likely be discussions on how to improve relations and other topics of mutual interest. It's the first time the two countries have held talks in 2 years. The United Nations Security Council has an emergency meeting today on protests in Iran. The U.S. asked for the session. At least 21 people have been killed. Hundreds have been arrested. The Justice Department launching another investigation into the Clinton Foundation's activities while Hillary Clinton served as Secretary of State. The FBI is reportedly leading the investigation into whether the foundation promised or fulfilled political favors in return for donations. The City of Chicago is taking legal action against landlords for failing to provide enough heat during the bitter cold weather. City attorneys asked a judge yesterday to restore the heat to buildings owned by 9 landlords who have not been complying with the city's heat ordinance. The massive winter storm on the East Coast is wreaking havoc at the airport. The storm forced the cancellation of more than 250 flights yesterday at O'Hare, more than 60 at Midway. And police in Park Ridge are looking for the tow truck driver accused of damaging more than a dozen parked cars on New Year's Eve morning. Authorities say the driver hit a tree on West Oakton Street and drove away with a tree limb lodged in the towing arm of the truck. The truck then headed down Northwest Highway, and that tree limb hit 14 parked cars. In sports, in the NHL, Blackhawks host the Golden Knights of Las Vegas tonight. In the NBA, the Bulls are in Dallas to face the Mavericks. News and service of Staples. Staples helps you keep your ink stocked and your business moving this year. Trade in your old printer and save up to $200 on a new Epson EcoTank, including up to 2 years of ink. Ends January the 6th. See store or staples.com for details. Restrictions may apply. That's Staples. It's pro time. AM 560 News Time 5:32. We'll take a look at traffic in 2 minutes on AM 560, The Answer.
Mike Gallagher warns of impeachment.
Of course, after the Alabama election, they are very cocky. They pray they're going to get control of the House and the Senate so they can begin impeaching the President of the United States. They're going to impeach him because they don't like him.
There's nothing he's done.
Will the Republicans make any change to anticipate this looming storm on the horizon?
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas Coffee, roasted fresh daily in Batavia, Illinois.
Health
Quest Radio with your host, Dr. David Kolbaba, is the longest-running health and science show in Chicago. And there's a good reason for this. It is Dr. Kolbaba's driving passion and concern for people just like you. Dr. Kolbaba believes that it's choice, not chance, that can get you back to higher health and longevity. By the way, when was the last time you really felt healthy? Question: if you were given one last chance to achieve the highest level of health possible, regardless of your past, would you take it? Here at HealthQuest, we're all about second chances. So, if you've been victimized by the choices you've made in the past, make a new choice, a better choice today. Call our HealthQuest radio hotline to reserve your new patient strategy session with Dr. Kolbaba. Imagine what it would be like to feel more vital, healthy, and strong. One last chance to set a new strategy in motion in your new patient strategy session. Call our HealthQuest radio hotline at 1-800-794-1855. That's 800-794-1855.
At 5:34 from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center, here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, David. I-80 eastbound at River Road. There's a truck in the ditch. The right lane is blocked. There, we're not seeing any significant delays, and that's really the case on the expressways and tollways throughout the area. Things are clear on the Edens. No problems or delays to report on the Kennedy. Reversibles are open inbound. The Eisenhower and the Stevenson are fine. The Rhine looks good. An outbound crash at 91st is gone. I-57, Bishop Ford, fine at the moment. No issues to report on the area tollways right now. CTA has some mild delays on the red line. This is on the Howard-bound side, or the northbound side, after some signal issues at Belmont. But we're not seeing big delays, and things are getting back to normal. Fares go up on the CTA starting Sunday, up to $225 for bus trips and up to $250 for train trips. Traffic is a service of TrueCar. Need to buy a car? Online shopping can be confusing. Not anymore with True Price from TrueCar. Now you can know the exact price you'll pay for the car you want and see what other people paid for too. When you're ready to buy a new or used car, visit TrueCar. Enjoy a more confident car buying experience. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
More of Chicago's Morning Answer next, but now the forecast. Sunny but bitterly cold today with a high of 11. Clear and cold again tonight, a low 4 below. Sunny, a bit warmer tomorrow, high 14. Right now it's 0 at O'Hare with a wind chill minus 16. Next news, 6 o'clock. Get continuous coverage of the latest news, traffic, and weather at 560theanswer.com. Now, more of Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Mortgage Makeovers, a show walking you through stress-free mortgage options. Mortgage Makeovers, Sunday afternoons at 1 on AM 560, The Answer.
Hey, Joe Walsh here. You know what? We should not give any money to any country that hates us. Let's talk about that when Freedom returns at 5.
Dan and Amy, and I want to get to Bannon and Breitbart and how long his tenure may be at Breitbart after yesterday's events. But we've got a crisis in the studio, and we have to address that first. There are rank order priority of these things. The crisis is this. Hey, we're going to have to cut the music. This is too serious.
This is very serious.
Amy Jacobson is thinking about leaving Chicago's rat abatement program. And as you know, as a resident of Chicago, those residents of Chicago like myself, the rate abatement program in Chicago is Amy Jacobson.
It is.
There is no rat abatement program without Amy Jacobson. Please, Amy, what do we need to do to talk you off the ledge?
Well, here's the deal. So I had a cat named Crazy, who we all know got hit by a car. And Crazy was the best rat killer, would bring me 5 to 7 a day. And I'd blog them, and I'd tweet the pictures, and
serve them with rice.
Oh, and WGN Morning News was going to bring my cats over to kill the rats because they have a rat problem over there at WGN.
Yeah, you train killer cats.
Right. And when whenever a building or a home is raised on our block, I'll bring the cat over because there's always a rat nest, and they'll go nuts.
It's like a Delta force of cats.
Yeah, so Crazy died, but Crazy, there's other cats in the neighborhood, so I signed up for this feral cat program. And part of the deal...
Feral cat program, okay.
Right, part of the deal. And then so other cats come that are in the neighborhood because free place to stay. I have warming beds for them.
It's like a recruitment office.
Yeah, and they live in my garage. they're in my garage. So that's, every day I go out. Like this morning, I went out to check on them. They're still, all huddled together on the hot
Sure.
beds, and I provide food and the water bowls heated.
Well, that you also do the combat training there.
Well, right, exactly.
Yeah.
And I actually have a toy rat that it has the wheels that I let go so they can play and keep fresh, keep on their toes.
Of course.
So part of the deal is you have to cage trap them and bring them in to get spayed or neutered, because if you don't, you'll have hundreds of cats. So I'm being a responsible citizen. Went and put down my $70 for every cage, because you have to rent out these traps. I got the cats in the traps, put them in the minivan, hoping none of them relieve
You
themselves.
you have to rent cages
From the city
for your
to
cats.
trap the cats, to take them to the vet to get spayed and neutered.
So you're so you rent. Wait, you have to rent
Mm-hmm.
cages from the city to go out and be the feral cat whisperer, to take them to the vet to get spayed and neutered, so that you can train them to be the city's front lines on rat abatement.
Yeah, because the city has tried everything. They've tried dry ice. They've tried 4 different types of poison. Nothing works. Nothing kills rats. I mean, if there's a nuclear bomb that goes off, roaches and rats are going to find a way to survive.
Did you say dry ice or dry guys?
No, dry. I said dry ice.
Okay,
All
I
right.
want to make sure.
So I go through and it's cold out yesterday. I don't know if you know, but it's kind of freezing out. I think I have frostbite on my tips of my fingers. So I do all this work.
Why do you have to rent the cage from the city if you're doing the city's work?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay. All right. This is fascinating. Fascinating look into
So
the
you
feral
get-
cat program.
I go to
/rat
Little
abatement.
Village. It's the Paws/Humane Society place where they do this for free. So they say. So I get up there, put the cats down.
That's where I got Hayek spayed.
Did you?
Yeah.
In Little Village?
At the
The one on 26th Street?
yeah.
Really? Did
Yeah.
you pay for it?
Yeah.
Okay. So they're reputable,
Yeah, they seem
But-
perfectly competent and fine. Hayek was, not too much worse for the wear.
What'd you do with the balls? Just kidding. They're on my Christmas tree. No, so I get there and, I said, all right, here are the cats, and I'll pick them up later today, or can, since it's so cold out, can I pick them up tomorrow? She said, well, you're going to have to pay for it. And I said, pay for it? No, this is part of the deal. I mean, I pay for their food. I provide kitty litter, I provide warmth.
You rent the cages.
Yeah. And she said, no, it's $40 a cat. And I said, oh, no. She said, well, no, actually, it's not. Do you have a Medicaid card? And I said, a Medicaid card for my cats?
The cats have to be on Medicaid?
The cats have to be in what? Illinois Medicaid program?
That's Obamacare Medicaid expansion for you.
And she said, no, if I had a Medicaid card that I could have presented to her, it would have been free. And
It's like a demonstration of need, right?
Exactly. And then I said, well, what about a link card? She's like, or if you have a link card, then you could get it for free. And I said, well, because I'm a responsible, hardworking human being who happens to love cats and is into this rat abatement program, I'm going to have to pay for it, and everybody else here gets it free? No, I'm not paying. So I took my cats back home, and I unleashed the hounds, and I'm going to just go to my vet.
Wow.
I'm sticking it to the man. That's bull jive. I mean, I'm doing the city a favor. I'm providing a great service to the city of Chicago.
Yeah, a tactical unit of killer cats. Rat abaters.
Yeah.
And then you got to pay for the cages, and if you're not already on the dole, you have to get on the dole.
Right. I mean,
in
in order to get it for
or
free.
otherwise you pay for the spaying.
Right, and it's the principle of it. It's just it really because I was not told that before I went through such great efforts to trap my little lovers, make them,
Wow.
It just makes me want to move.
That's the last straw.
That and the property taxes and the garbage tax, and if I don't shovel, I get fined.
I don't care about them taking my home, but if I can't participate in the rat abatement program, lead it, if you will. Train these killer cats. Get it all out. And not get a little help with the spaying, then I'm out of here. That's it.
The one lady said,
Go where I'm wanted.
Start a GoFundMe page. I'm like, oh, okay. My cats can be sponsored by, and get a little sponsored vests. Huh?
Yeah.
Illinois Policy Institute want to sponsor.
I'll run that up. I'll run that up the flagpole.
I've named all the cats. One's called Marshfield.
If
really.
If you could actually, you could actually turn this into, a bit of a bit of a contest or like a marketing opportunity if you could actually catch the cats on film, or if you had like some kind of Hunger Games competition with the cats.
Oh, like put
Vis-a-vis
the rat in the
the
middle
rats
of the
rather than
backyard
the
and
cat.
see who gets the cat first.
Yeah.
Or gets the rat first.
Like an urban version of the a fox hunt. Instead of dignified English gentlemen, it's rabble in Lakeview watching cats chase rats. But it's the same concept.
Some of my cats are mangy. Oh, but I love them all. But
well, they're
one
soldiers of
comes to me-
fortune.
I know. And one, he's got an eye. I mean, his eye's all janked up, but I just love them all.
Well,
I mean, they're
he's
good.
been on the battle lines. I mean, let's have some respect for our veterans of the rat abatement program.
They're so scary. Bunky doesn't even go near them. If they're in the backyard, he stays. He knows better because they all have claws and they will gouge his eyes out.
Well, all right. So let's see. How many cats did you bring to get spayed?
3.
So that would have been $120.
Yeah.
Not doing it.
No. I'll go to my vet and see if I can work her down a deal. And it's right across the street, and it might be safer. You really took Guyuk there?
Yeah.
To 26th place?
Yeah.
Really?
What's wrong with that?
Is that where your vet is, or do you not have a vet for Hayek yet?
No, it's not where my vet is, but I just figure it's because it's the.
It's like a factory in there.
It's paws.
Yeah.
Right. So, it goes back into
To help
shelter
other
and
dogs.
helping
All right.
other animals and dogs.
That's
and
very lowbrow of you. I'm surprised that
Very
you didn't take
lowbrow.
him to Bloom.
Oh,
Where Oprah takes her.
Very down market is what you're
Yeah,
saying.
on Clark Street.
That's
That's where I'd take Bunky.
Excuse me, man of the people here. That's
I
what I
didn't
am.
know. That was just-
I'm a circle of life.
Very street of you.
Providing support for the institutions, the
Uh-huh.
infrastructure, the pet infrastructure in the city. There are many layers to me.
If you're talking about it, Dan and Amy are talking about it. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
You know, the average temperature this time of year is 31 degrees, and we haven't seen that in a long, long time. But if you want to know what it feels like to be on Mars, well, just go outside or go to the East Coast because they're going to have sub-zero temperatures as well. High today between 9 and 13 degrees, wind chill about minus 20 below. Tonight, low of 4. And then Saturday, we're going to have sunshine, a high of 11. And Saturday night, partly cloudy, in the evening becoming cloudy. We're going to have lows about 1 to 5 degrees. And then the temperature begins to rise. On Sunday, you'll wake up to cloudy skies with a chance of light snow, about 1 inch to 2 inches on Sunday, and highs in the upper 20s. Woo! Let's get into our alarm detection systems. Traffic center, any stalls on the roadways? Here's Jim Telemonte.
Well, Amy, got crashes on I-80 eastbound. We're now seeing delays from Shapley to River Road. The right lane's blocked. Got a truck in the ditch there. Southwest side of Chicago, there's a crash. 47th Cicero, just north of Midway. And at 31st and Lawndale, there's a water main break. Yeah, mild delays on the inbound Ryan now. 18th into the Burn Circle, just a little slow, about a 1-minute delay. The other expressways and tollways for now look good. At O'Hare, flight boards are showing about 62 canceled flights right now, mainly due to that ongoing East Coast weather. About 15 flight cancellations at Midway. I'm Jim Talamonte, the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Upstream-ideas.com, premium content that complements what we do each morning on this show. Long-form interviews and our Against the Current series this week featuring Zach Model, fourth-generation manufacturing family in Lyons there, Atlas Tool Works, talking about manufacturing in Illinois, why it is dwindling in Illinois, while at the same time manufacturing is enjoying a renaissance in our Midwestern neighbors. So it's a really good conversation. Zach Model, a very sharp guy, and he's a practitioner in the space, so he has particular insights. Also, 60 Seconds of Sanity commentaries from me, 2-minute warnings from Pat Hughes at the Illinois Opportunity Project, podcast of our Illinois Rising program covering state policy and politics, Man on the Street, Follow the Logic segments, and our series Heart of the Matter featuring professional women speaking collegially about these salient issues of the day. You can find it all at upstream-ideas.com.
Jimmy John's Freaky Fast, Freaky Fresh.
I'm calling because I saw one of your delivery persons today, and he was totally naked.
Ma'am, I sincerely want to apologize for any...
Buck naked right there on the street.
Ma'am, we're doing all we can to...
And I say it's about darn time.
I know, and I'm gonna... Wait, what?
The human body is a beautiful thing, don't you agree?
Well,
We've suffered the tyranny of clothing for way too long.
Okay, but...
So thanks, Jimmy John's, for going all natural.
Actually, ma'am, it's our meats that are all natural.
Say what now?
Our meats are all natural. Wood smoked ham, choice roast beef, real fresh turkey breast, all natural and freaky fresh.
So I don't suppose I can expect all natural delivery in the future.
No.
Darn.
One size fits all has no place in your bedroom. Hi, I'm Christian von Rickenbach, founder of Helix Sleep, and we know one mattress can't work for everyone. That's why we created the only mattress built for you. Go to helixsleep.com, take our 2-minute sleep quiz, and we'll build your custom mattress and ship it to you for free. Try it for 100 nights, and if it's not the best sleep you've ever had, we'll pick it up and give you your money back. Go to helixsleep.com/talkradio right now, and we'll give you $50 towards your custom mattress. That's helixsleep.com/talkradio.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
Do you have a family? Would you like to help make sure they'll be taken care of if anything were to happen to you? If you answered yes, you probably need life insurance. Now, do you think life insurance is expensive? If you answered yes to that too, you definitely need to give AIG Direct a call. We could find you a $250,000 policy for just $14 a month, which means you could save hundreds of dollars a year. Call us now for a free, no-obligation quote. 1-800-400-1902. Since 1995, we've helped millions of people find out if they could save up to 70% on their term life insurance. See how affordably we can help you protect your family. Call AIG Direct now for your free quote. 1-800-400-1902. You could save up to 70%. That's 1-800-400-1902. 1-800-400-1902.
Sean Hannity is right. IRS problems can be devastating. I'm attorney Stephen Leahy, host of the IRS Radio Hour, heard right here on this station every Sunday evening at 5 o'clock. And I help business owners, 1099 employees, and those with unfiled tax returns solve their IRS problems. I know you want a local attorney you could look in the eye and hold accountable for solving your IRS problem, not some big box outfit without a Chicago connection. So if you fear the IRS will take your money, bank account, wages, or visit your home or job, and now they can take your passport, you need to hire me to solve your IRS problem for good. Today, I have a special bonus. If you are one of the first 25 to call and hire me to solve your IRS problem, we will prepare your 2017 tax returns for free. Call me, attorney Stephen Leahy, your Chicago IRS answer man at 312-664-6649. Again, that's 312-664-6649. One more time, 312-664-6649. Or visit us on the web at chicagotaxteam.com. Don't wait. Call me now and get the IRS out of your business and your life for good.
AM 560, The Answer.
Hey, we did it. We met our Food for the Poor goal, and I wanted to take a minute to say thank you. Thanks to each and every one of you, including my mom, who participated in our annual Food for the Poor campaign. Because of you,
Thank you, Mrs. Jacobson.
Thank you, Louise. Yes, thank you. We were able to raise over $180,000 to provide food for a year and clean water for life for over 3,200 children and their families in countries throughout Latin America and the Caribbean. And we're especially grateful to the many business benefactors who supported this campaign. So when you hear their ads on this station, we'd ask that you support their business as a way of saying thanks for their generosity. And just because Christmas season is over and we're in a new year, that doesn't mean the need goes away. You can still make a $50 donation anytime to Food for the Poor. Just call 847-862-4673. And thanks again for your generosity.
Well, let's touch upon Bannon here because, of course, there was fallout from those excerpts of the Michael Wolff book, Fire and Fury, that had everybody talking about it, including the D.C. press corps. One member
Cecilia
asking...
Vega.
Well, that was one...
No, she was the one who asked Donald Trump, did he turn on you? Did Steve Bannon turn on you?
Okay, we'll get to Cecilia Vega. I'm talking about the question that was put to Sarah Sanders about whether or not Breitbart should keep Bannon around.
It wasn't just criticizing, it was a little bit different than that.
Well, should Breitbart part ways with Steve Bannon after the comments in these books?
I certainly think that it's something they should look at and consider.
It's interesting that she chose to comment at all on that rather than say what I would have advised she say.
What do you think she should have said?
It's a Breitbart decision. I don't know. It's a media outlet. We don't do personnel decisions for media outlets, although I know the president has weighed in on some specific personnel at some specific media outlets. But I would just stay out of it because it's sort of do they need to send a public signal about what they think the future of Steve Bannon at Breitbart should be? That seems to me something that you back channel if you channel at all. Because Bannon is having problems, not surprisingly. Rebecca,
his new name is Sloppy Steve, by the way.
Okay.
That's how President Trump refers to him now. Sloppy Steve. Sloppy Steve.
Is that your Adam Sandler impersonation? Sloppy Joe. Yeah, it's not bad.
Thank you.
Not bad. I think it needs some musical accompaniment.
Yeah, we'll get Justin
Or you
on
need to
it.
really try and sell it.
Okay.
You know, you kind of, that was half-hearted.
Sloppy Steve. Sloppy Steve. Sloppy Steve.
All right, that's enough Adam Sandler. God, is he annoying? Isn't he annoying?
Oh, I love Adam Sandler.
Terrible.
My favorite is his Hanukkah song.
Yeah, and his songs got so tiresome on Saturday Night Live, and his Opera Man, and it's just like, it's the same voice, and it's, I don't know, totally overrated in my book. But anyway.
Anywho.
So you got a new moniker for Bannon, and he needs to find, apparently, new billionaire support because Rebecca Mercer offered a rare public statement to the Washington Post yesterday evening. My family and I have not communicated with Steve Bannon in many months and have provided no financial support to his political agenda, nor do we support his recent actions and statements. You know, her father, Robert Mercer, kind of took a back seat because of, I think, a lot of the heat he was getting publicly for how supportive he has been of Breitbart and other things. Mm-hmm. So Rebecca's kind of stepped up, his daughter, and it's unusual for a public statement like that to be made, particularly from the Mercers. So it's telling, and it also may be telling the world that Bannon's days at Breitbart are numbered.
Do you think Breitbart should keep him?
I
could
think
call Joel Pollack and ask him.
We'll effort on that. I think it's kind of a bit difficult. Although, if he, I don't know if he supplicates himself enough, maybe he can survive. I mean, President Trump seemed to, be happy with his pronouncement later in the day yesterday.
I don't know. He called me a great man last night, so, he obviously changed his tune pretty quick. All right, thank you all very much. Thank you. I don't talk to him.
Somebody asked, do you talk to him ever? And he said, no, I don't talk to him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, and we can get into Scaramucci later, but Scaramucci is saying that only does they're not mad at him. They want him back on the team. That they need him in the Republican Party.
That who needs whom?
The Republican Party needs Steve Bannon in it to survive.
Yeah, Wall Street Journal opined on the topic yesterday as well. They make the point that Michael Wolff's book makes clear that Bannon was a leading cause of the pre-General Kelly White House chaos. He and the press corps have a relationship of mutual loathing but codependency. That's sort of the same relationship Trump has with the media. They use each other, and the media love to promote Mr. Bannon because he's a talkative source and a destructive political force inside the Republican Party. The surprise, the Wall Street Journal goes on, is that Trump kept him around so long, and the reason is probably what LBJ said about keeping J. Edgar Hoover micturating inside the tent. But Mr. Bannon fed Mr. Trump's political paranoia, his worst policy instincts, and he rails against the president in favor of a more idyllic past, and the results were not productive pre-John Kelly. That's the Wall Street Journal's position on Bannon. I mean, I think, there's some things that Bannon has said about the political ruling class that you can certainly agree with, but, pointing out problems or perhaps personnel that are challenging or failing or enemies inside the perimeter even, that's not the difficult thing. The difficult thing is, particularly in the role that Bannon had, is providing the advice and counsel to put together the coalitions to advance the remedies. And to the Wall Street Journal's point, in the early days of the administration, some of the cabinet secretary positions notwithstanding, it doesn't come across that Steve Bannon was doing that. It seems like he was competing to be the power center and to and also to use his position to kind of aggrandize himself rather than to advance necessarily the president's agenda, even though there's competition in the White House in terms of what that agenda is. I don't know. I think Bannon has done great damage to himself.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
At 5:57 from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center, here's Jim Talamonte.
Thank you, David. On the inbound Ryan Expressway, traffic's a little heavy now coming into downtown. Just a 1 or 2 minute delay from 18th into the Burns Circle. Eastbound I-80, stop and go Shepley to River Road. There's a truck in the ditch that has the right lane blocked. The other expressways and tollways look good at this hour. There's a crash on the southwest side, 47th and Cicero, north of Midway Airport. Traffic is a service of Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Rocket Mortgage is simple. You can understand the details and be sure you're getting the right mortgage. Apply simply, understand fully, mortgage confidently. Visit rocketmortgage.com today. Licensed in all 50 states, equal housing lender, MLS number 3030. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
And now the weekend forecast with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Today, a full day of sunshine, but frigid. High 11. Clear and bitterly cold tonight, low 4 below zero. Sunny to partly cloudy and bitterly cold tomorrow, high 14 and a low of 4. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Currently, it's 0 degrees, wind chill minus 16. AM 560 news time, 5:59. In the news, the city of Chicago is taking legal action against local landlords for failing to provide enough heat during this bitter cold weather. City Attorney Stephen McKenzie asked a judge yesterday to restore heat to buildings owned by 9 landlords who aren't complying with the city's heat ordinance, including the owner of a Southside women's shelter.
The temperatures were in the 20s, and they vacated the building because it was uninhabitable.
Since December 27th, the city has gotten nearly 1,600 complaints about a lack of heat. Chicago's police watchdog recommending the firing of Officer Robert Rialmo for the deadly shootings of Quintonio LeGrier and Betty Jones. The Sun-Times reports the Civilian Office of Police Accountability made that recommendation to Police Superintendent Johnson last month. A dozen people, including 8 children, are without a home after a fire on the south side. Authorities say the blaze broke out last night in a building in the 8600 block of South Vincennes. There were no injuries reported. In sports, Blackhawks host the Golden Knights tonight. In the NBA, the Bulls are in Dallas. The news, a service of AdvoCare 180 system.
Ready to start the new year with a new lifestyle? Ready to get healthy? Ready to totally transform your life? Start now with the AdvoCare 180 system and compete in the transformation competition to win $25,000. See advocare.com/2018 for rules and details. Start now.
We'll have more of Chicago's Morning Answer after a check of Fox News. WIND Chicago at 6 o'clock.
Sloppy Steve. I'm Dave Anthony. Fox News. That's President Trump's new nickname for his ex-chief strategist, as the new book Steve Bannon's quoted in is put on sale early. Fox's John Decker live at the White House.
The publisher of Fire and Fury, the explosive new book exposing chaos behind the scenes at the White House, released the book at midnight in defiance of an attempt by President Trump's lawyers to try to shut it down. The president tweeting before its release, "I authorize zero access to the White House for author of phony book. I never spoke to him for book. Full of lies, misrepresentations, and sources that don't exist." He continued, "Look at this guy's past and watch what happens to him and Sloppy Steve." That reference to former chief strategist Steve Bannon, who said unflattering things about the president and his family. Dave?
John Hillary Clinton being investigated again for her time as Secretary of State. The Daily Beast reports another Justice Department probe into her private email server, and the Clinton Foundation is being looked into. Allegations of favors given to donors.
Republicans have long urged the DOJ to resume their investigations into the Clinton family's dealings, but Clinton Foundation officials believe the probe is a distraction from the special counsel investigation into possible ties between President Trump's campaign and Russia.
Fox's Mike Cantor. Everyone is super worried. That's what the part owner of a California marijuana distribution company says after Attorney General Sessions suggested prosecutors may enforce federal law that makes pot illegal in states where the drug's been legalized.
I believe what happened today was a trampling of Colorado's rights, its voters.
That's Republican Senator Cory Gardner from Colorado threatening to hold up any Justice Department appointments. New York's JFK Airport set to reopen after the storm that grounded thousands of flights. 1,100 more canceled today as the cleanup continues. Virginia to Maine. Some areas got over a foot of snow. It'll feel well below zero in the Northeast this weekend. Wind chill or freeze warnings stretch all the way to central Florida. Fox News, fair and balanced.
On Tuesday, January 30th, President Donald Trump will deliver his first State of the Union address to Congress, to the country, and to the world. And AM 560, The Answer, is throwing a party, and you're invited. It's a taste of freedom, a State of the Union viewing party, presented by HealthInsuranceMentors.com at Avante Banquets in Fox River Grove. Enjoy a 3-course meal as you watch the president's speech. Tickets start at just $56 and are on sale now at 560theanswer.com/taste. Sponsored in part by StoreLock.
All money managers may seem pretty much the same. But while some money managers may recommend high commission investment products, Fisher Investments avoids them. Some money managers may have hidden and layered fees. Fisher Investments never does. And while some money managers are happy to earn commissions from you, whether you do well or not, Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when you do better. In other words, we're structured to be on your side. Maybe that's why most of our clients come to us from other money managers. Talk with us and find out why so many experienced investors are switching to and staying with Fisher Investments. Fisher Investments, clearly better money management. Investments in securities involve the risk of loss. Visit us at FisherInvestments.com to find out what we can do for you.
Message and data rates may apply.
Guys, this may be the last time you ever have to think about hair loss. Because I'm telling you, Bosley is the real deal. They're giving men their hair back permanently. Their real hair. All it takes to get started on the hair gain train is a single text message. We'll send you a link with direct access to a special website that unlocks an incredible offer. An absolutely free information kit and a free gift card. Simply text STRONG to 85850. Bosley will show you for free how great your hair could look. Dude, this isn't your dad's hair loss treatment. People all over the country trust Bosley because they're America's #1 hair restoration expert, ahead of the curve with the latest technology. And the best part, Bosley's solution is permanent. Drop what you're doing, get direct access to a special site for your free information kit and gift card for $250 off by texting STRONG to 85850. That's STRONG to 85850.
If you're aged 59 and a half or older with the 401k plan and still working, stop what you're doing and call Arlington Capital Management at 855-471-5796. They'll help you actively manage your 401k, show you strategies to avoid major declines, and capitalize on opportunities. There are benefits with age, and this is one of them. At 59 and a half, you're entitled to new opportunities in the investment world that can dramatically improve your results and even lower your fees. Call 855-471-5796 now and take the first step toward getting more out of your retirement assets. The team at Arlington Capital Management proactively explores the market, our economy, and all of the variables that offset your investments. Call 855-471-5796 now for a complimentary consultation. That's 855-471-5796 or visit arlington-capital.com. You worked hard to accumulate your nest egg. Now, it's time to put your money to work for you.
This hourly segment is sponsored by Wine Time Radio. Every Saturday at 10 p.m. on AM 560. Explore the wonderful world of wine with hosts James Crooker and Rob Lehner.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. We talked about this story yesterday. We've talked about it over the last couple of months a few times. The story of this veterans home in Quincy, Illinois, where over the last 2.5 years, 13 people have died from Legionnaire's disease.
And 53 others have gotten sick.
And you have, well, I guess the best way to describe the quality of the operation at this veterans home is to reference Mike Tobin's report over the holidays. Mike Tobin, Fox News correspondent out here in Chicago and Midwest. Listen to the story of the French family
Legionella bacteria was detected at the Illinois Veterans Home in Quincy as early as July of 2015, according to the Centers for Disease Control. That's roughly when Korean War veteran Richard French moved in. He was sick. His wife Dolores moved into independent living there to be near him. Friday, August 28th, their son Steve French heard news of a Legionnaire's disease outbreak and called.
It was a pretty quick response. Kind of a casual response saying, nope, your parents are fine. If something happens, we will give you a call. At that time, she was already dead. We found out later that she had been dead for several days.
I mean, can you imagine?
So,
Can you
I mean,
imagine?
sometimes the cover-up is worse than the crime, too, but for them to lie and say she's fine and she's dead?
Or not know. So was it malicious? Was it malevolence, or was it
Laziness,
incompetence?
yeah.
Either way, it's bad. It's just a question of how bad. There were proclamations made by Governor Rauner, by the state veterans director, about how clean the water is, about we're all squared away, first-class operation.
In July of 2016, Illinois Governor Bruce Rauner said, we're really on top of the situation. Last fall, 3 more residents tested positive for the bacteria. A Korean War veteran with a host of medical problems died.
So so now a year and a half later, after Governor Rauner said we're really on top of this, and the veterans director said cleanest water in the state, now Governor Rauner is doing his Jane Byrne impersonation. He and his wife are going camping in Quincy. They're going to stay over a couple of nights in the Quincy Veterans Home, trying to get a handle on the situation from a first-person perspective.
Think they're taking hot showers? I mean, that was the first thing I thought of. All the local news media in Chicago flocked there, waiting to get video of the governor and Diana going in or out. They did not release any statements yesterday. There's no video of them being there. They just had the spokesperson come out saying that they checked in Wednesday night and they plan to stay several days. And he's going to be staying in a room like the rooms residents stay in. But real quick, and this is very important, Stacey Baca from ABC 7 News, they requested, the IDPH Centers for Disease Control report on Legionnaire's disease at that veterans home. The bottom line, and it's right here, I highlighted it, complete eradication of Legionella in any large complex building water system may not be possible. Therefore, some risk for Legionnaire's disease may remain in spite of a fully operational and optimized water management plan, especially for susceptible individuals exposed to building water that contains Legionella. So it has not been eradicated from that water system at that veterans home.
Wonder if he'll have a Mr. Burns moment at the home there, the governor.
Smells delightful.
All right, 3-eyed fish. Can I have your plate, Mr. Burns?
And he had to spit out that tasty piece of the 3-eyed fish that came from the water his plant polluted, right? Do you remember that famous episode of The Simpsons? It's classic. Governor Rauner, a glass of water?
Yeah. You want to have a chugging contest?
Can I get you
a hot shower?
Can I get you a glass of water?
Hey, why don't you go stand by the fountain over there in the foyer? No,
Here-
I'm sure they don't have a fountain. They better not have a fountain in the foyer.
This is, by the way, a hearing tomorrow, not tomorrow, but Tuesday, the 9th, on this topic. This friend of mine, whose mom worked as an RN at this veterans home, sent me an email providing some detail. Let me just read this. My mom worked at the Illinois Veterans Home in Quincy from 2001 to 2015. She died in December of 2015. Anyway, she was an RN. The media reports of Legionnaires being diagnosed in July of 2015 are wrong. The first visible signs of the disease were present at the end of May of 2015. My mom had brought this up to the doctor and the nurse practitioner at the vet's home. Both said that it wasn't Legionnaires. No tests were taken on the residents. In June of 2015, the home started their treatment of Legionnaires. The home had yet to actually test or confirm that any patient had the disease. It only came out in July of 2015 that the home had an outbreak when one of the residents had to go to the local hospital, and the doctors tested the patient and found he had Legionnaires. Even then, the home tried to say that the resident had picked it up at the hospital, not at the home. There was only one confirmed case of Legionnaires at the time in the whole hospital, and it was the vet's home resident. There were many other residents at the home that showed signs of having Legionnaires. My mom confronted the doctor and told them, and the NP, the nurse practitioner, and told them that they had to admit all residents to the hospital that were showing symptoms of Legionnaires. Both said that the staff of the home can handle it. My mom said clearly the home cannot because we could have as many as 20 residents with Legionnaires, and we aren't treating them, and we haven't isolated them. People will die. She was ignored. She confronted the vet's home administrators. Again, they denied they had a problem. Once the home finally admitted the problem on their hands, it was too late. The various union representatives at the home were more concerned about the health and well-being of the staff than they were about the residents with Legionnaires. Again, this irritated my mom to no end, so much so that in October of 2015, she had planned how she could retire in 2016 so she could be done with the home. She was an RN who saw her career as a vocation. Probably 70-80% of the staff at the vet's home around the state see their job as nothing more than a job. Whenever people asked her about working in the veterans home, she would say, "It's an honor to care for the men in their final years of life that sacrifice so much for the freedoms we enjoy. It's a shame that most of the staff don't realize how privileged they are to care for these amazing men." So just, an inside perspective, which is similar to the conversation we had last year, often as revelations were coming out about VA hospitals at the federal level. Mm-hmm. But the question is, you do press release politics like the governor has done on this topic, and you pay the price. Everything's fine.
I mean, is it from the heart, or is this a political stunt? 312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. 64636, type in DA, then a quick comment. Because even Democratic Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky was very complimentary of Bruce and Diane and their efforts to try and eradicate this problem.
I think showing up is a big deal. That being present and being a witness to something that's happening is important. But I think that, it only opens the door.
Yeah, right. Jan Schakowsky, communist, a practitioner of virtue signaling politics, which by definition are disingenuous, is complimenting the Ronners. That's the kind of endorsement you want in your back pocket.
Well, J.B. Pritzker, Jeannie Ives are all calling this a political stunt.
Jeannie Ives called Rauner's stay a publicity stunt that's too little, too late. She goes on to say in a statement, preventable deaths aren't prevented when no one is in charge.
And that's a reference to Governor Rauner saying last month, I'm not in charge. Right. I'm not in charge. So when you abdicate the leadership of the state, which is, by the way, attendant to the office of governor, then, yeah, things go awry like they would in any organization. Leadership matters. Engagement with state agencies matters. And let me tell you something, because I know a little bit about this from all of my nefarious relationships in the political arena in Illinois and in state government and my time allied with Governor Rauner in many ways. There was no interest in the state agencies. There's no serious coordination between the state agencies and the governor's office. Governor Rauner is not interested in policy detail. He's not knowledgeable about policy. I know you think because he's rich, he's a genius or that he's attendant to every detail. I'm not saying he's a dumb guy. He's a smart guy. But he is not interested in detail, and he is not engaged on these issues. He does what Tiny Dancer does. Top line, press release politics, happy talk nonsense. Well, we're on top of this. Everything's great. Everybody's a superstar.
Do you think, anything of them both moving in there for a few days? Having a sleepover in Quincy for, what, do you think they'll stay until Saturday, maybe Sunday? Maybe they have weekend plans. I don't know.
Yeah, what do you?
But it did remind me of Jane Byrne when she moved into Cabrini Green.
Of course it does.
And I'll never forget. It was Paul Mikey or Russ Ewing, one of those two reporters from 7, who said, and you can tell where she's staying because there were brand new windows on the exterior windows of the floor that she was staying on.
Well, right. And she also, by the way, endured protests from the residents. We need jobs, not eggs, and so on and so forth. This whole kind of...
And he'll come out. He'll peek out to get some media attention. I mean,
Well,
they drove 4 hours to get there to.
Yeah, the media, they didn't do any media attention because they want to. They've got the media attention, and saying we didn't seek out media attention gets them more media attention. That's the whole point. Oh, we're not down there for media attention. We're down there to be serious. Of course, it's a political stunt, and it's a tired one. And you have residents in places around the state, like Quincy, that are so desperate for anybody to pay attention to them that they give them the benefit of the doubt. It's frankly sort of exploitive, I think. But you see this as a political stunt, or are you applauding Governor Rauner and Bruce, who's with her, for staying for a couple of days at the Veterans Home? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro. Answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro. Text line. What do you think?
I'm on the fence on this one, believe it or not, because I do admire that they're going to stay there for a few days. They better stay there for a few days, but you don't know. But then again, too, I see this as a political stunt, especially when they didn't come out and talk to the media. That's so frustrating. Because they invited them. I know for a fact they invited them down like, hey, we're going. They sent out a press release to all the stations and the newspapers to get them all down there. And now they're playing this cat and mouse game.
This is an important issue, right? We agree.
Yeah.
13 people have died.
53 have the disease.
There are 11 families have now filed suit against the state. And let me just refresh the recollection on the timeline from Mike Tobin's report on Fox News.
In July of 2016, Illinois Governor Bruce Rauner said, we're really on top of the situation. Last fall, 3 more residents tested positive for the bacteria. A Korean War veteran with a host of medical problems died.
We're on top of it in July of 2016. A year later, 3 more test positive. 1 dies. We're January of 2018, and now he and Diana are going to the Veterans Home. That's on top of it?
He should shut it down. I mean, the Illinois Health Department just came out and said it's not safe. I mean, the complete eradication of Legionella in any large complex water system may not be possible.
Jay and Schaumburg, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning. First of all, I think it's silliness for the governor to go down there just to deploy. But the big thing is Legionnaire's disease can be killed out if you have an ozonation plant treating your water. Ozone plants totally eradicate any bacteria or virus in the water. And they're expensive, yes, but it makes your water clean and pure. We built one in Ann Arbor, Michigan for the city. And quite an undertaking, but they have the best water in the country. They win awards all the time.
Well, hey, let me ask you a question, Jay, since you're apparently an expert in the space. There was this outbreak of Legionnaires at the Marriott Hotel last year, or within the last couple of years.
All their fountains.
And so yeah, I mean, that's like kind of, it's effectively like a standalone facility. So something like that, how does Marriott, eradicate Legionnaires within their water supply?
If I understand the Marriott problem, the Legionnaire's disease came from their cooling towers.
Oh.
And they were not using proper chemical treatments for the water going to their cooling towers.
Oh, I see.
I don't believe it was in the drinking water. I believe that was from the cooling towers.
I see.
There
okay.
was one case where
Thank
it was
you,
in the
Jay.
fountain.
Appreciate the call.
It was being spread the water in the fountains. So then a lot of people stopped with the fountains. I don't know.
Okay. Well, I think, Jay gave us a useful explanation there. Okay.
So there's a solution to this, but it's going to cost money. So.
Well, if you can't, if you can't prevent people from contracting Legionnaire's disease, then you remove the people from the facility,
right?
And put them somewhere else where they get the care to which they are entitled, the care that they earned. Neil in LaGrange.
Hey, good morning. Happy New Year, Dan and Amy.
Happy New Year.
Maybe the governor is trying to do something good with this, but this kind of reminds me of when Jane Byrne moved into Cabrini Green way back when,
Right.
When I think security was bad back then. It was a bad neighborhood, so she said, I'll move in there. But, what they didn't tell everybody was that they moved everybody out above and below and next to and all that. So that's my 2 cents anyway.
Thanks for the call, Neil. But then Cabrini Green got raised so many years later and was turned into $500,000 townhomes.
Yep.
So how about that?
They were supposed to have Section 8 housing. That didn't happen.
Yeah, and then crime
They
and
moved everybody to Carpentersville and Joliet.
yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a real solution, huh? Governor Rauner also yesterday. He's busy.
What did he do? I
Um,
listened to him on WJOL radio.
Did you?
I did.
Well, that's the
12-minute interview.
that's the interview in which he criticized the Republican congressional delegation here in Illinois, all of whom voted for the tax cuts, saying that the Trump congressional Republican tax cuts are going to hurt a lot of middle-class families and higher-income families, and it's going to push more employers out of the state, which is going to hurt job creation and going to increase the cost of living for people in Illinois.
Well, they're worried about the Amazon deal now, too.
The Amazon deal is, a
Not
fairy
gonna happen.
tale.
Okay.
I mean, so they can protest all they want. The left-leaning Tax Policy Center, 80% of American families will see tax relief from the Trump Republican tax cuts. I'll tell you what's punishing families, Governor Rauner, your last 3 years, in addition to the last half century of political ruling class lordship over this state, both parties, mainly Chicago Democrats, the highest property taxes in the nation, the highest combined state and local taxes in the nation. And 3 years after your tenure, Governor, what do we have? A 32% increase in the state income tax. Nothing with respect to property tax relief. You're not even pushing for property tax relief. You're looking to lock in the highest property taxes in the nation, not do anything systemic or structural. As Mike Tobin said in his report over the holidays on you're 0 for 44 in the campaign promises that you made, the policies that you were going to affect as the new sheriff in town willing to take on the roving marauders in both parties. So the problem in Chicago and Illinois is decidedly a local and state problem. It has nothing to do with the tax cuts, and it's fascinating for Governor Rauner to criticize the Illinois Republican congressional delegation, to be at odds with them again after already being rebuked by the entire Republican congressional delegation when he signed legislation to create a new open-ended entitlement program with his public financing of abortion on demand all 9 months. And this is the Republican that some people want to stick with as the nominee again this cycle. Really? What do you think you win if Rauner were to win the primary? I mean, he has no chance in the general, but even if he were to win the general, we can, since we're into fairy tales like HQ2 locating in Chicago, we can spin this one out too. What do you think you win? I'd love to hear it. I mean, what you look at what he says and what he does and what he has said and what he has done, and you say, I can't wait for more of blank. Fill it in. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Never mind those stab wounds in my back. I can't wait for more of blank.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Have you racked up more than $10,000 in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by, making minimum payments? You should know the credit card companies are tricking you into thinking there's no way out. Credit card companies would rather you didn't know that there are ways you can become debt-free and you don't have to pay the entire amount you owe. There are debt relief programs that help people like you escape overwhelming credit card debt. National Debt Relief has helped tens of thousands of people just like you reduce more than $500 million of debt. National Debt Relief has helped so many people they're A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. You don't have to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan. You have the right to settle your debt for a mere fraction of what you owe. Reduce a large portion of your debt now. Call National Debt Relief at 800-694-7394. 800-694-7394. That's 800-694-7394.
Restaurants come and go. Very few last. When you find a restaurant that's served margaritas, fun, and fantastic food for over 2 decades, you can bet it's great.
That's the one-of-a-kind landmark Cafe Salsa Mexican Grill and Tequila Bar in Countryside. Cafe Salsa offers daily lunch specials, happy hour in the bar, half-price house margaritas on Wednesdays, and on Monday and Tuesday, 2 for $22 dinner specials. Ready to eat? Try Mexican-inspired influences on traditional fare, like Cafe Salsa's margarita salmon, honey chipotle glazed pork chops, and amazing carne asada with mushroom salsa, plus fajitas, a fantastic selection of quesadillas, many flavorful steak and chicken dishes, and shrimp tacos, hot off the wood-fired grill. Cafe Salsa's dining room is perfect for birthdays and family get-togethers. Check out their complete menu at cafesalsa.com or call 708-352-5100.
Make your plans for lunch or dinner today at Cafe Salsa, 55th Street and LaGrange Road in Countryside, cafesalsa.com.
Hey, Butch, all I ever see you eat is raw meat, whiskey, and an occasional bowl of rusty nails. Now, I know you're tough, but with your diet, what's your secret to avoiding the flu?
Jim, this is between us. You hear?
Sure, Butch, you can trust me.
Well, I take Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies. I take them on the go or under the table when no one's looking. It's the only way I'd ever get over 10 real servings of fruits and vegetables.
Is it like a vitamin or something?
No, it's food. They only use real whole ingredients. Not that isolated or synthetic crap you get with all the other guys. This is real stuff, Jim. Real stuff. They sell direct to consumers and ship right to your door, free of charge.
Well, Buckaroo, how do I get them?
Call them at 1-800-2468-751. Write it down, Jim, before someone sees me. It's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code WAGON for a special offer.
2018 is not just a new year. It's also an opportunity to grow your business with top talent. But how do you find it? ZipRecruiter. One click sends your job ad to over 100 of the web's leading job boards. But ZipRecruiter doesn't stop there. Their smart matching technology will instantly alert quality candidates about your job. That means you'll start getting great candidates with the right experience almost as soon as your job is posted. No wonder 80% of employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site in just one day. The right candidates are out there. This is how you find them. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
People from businesses of all sizes trust ZipRecruiter for their hiring needs. We're so confident ZipRecruiter will get you better results than anywhere else. We'll let you try it free. That's right, free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
I bet you don't spend much time thinking about your circulation, but you know what? You should. Here's why. Good circulation is crucial to energy and stamina. It gets oxygen and nutrients flowing throughout your body so you can exercise longer, do more everyday activities, and recover more quickly. What can you do then to promote healthy circulation? Drink Super Beets. Swear, Super Beets promotes the body's own natural ability to produce healthier circulation for increased energy and stamina all day long. Only Super Beets is made from beets grown to exacting standards, then concentrated into superfood crystals. If you want to improve your circulation, call 800-516-0243 or go to walshbeets.com. With your first order, get another 30-day supply of Super Beets free, plus indicator strips to see how Super Beets is working for you and free shipping. So call 800-516-0243 or go to walshbeets.com today.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, Clay from Downers Grove has answered my question. If Ronner wins, what do we win? What is it you can't wait for Ronner to continue to do? Clay in Downers Grove, you're in Chicago's Morning Answer.
Happy New Year, Dan and Amy. You can just expect Mike Madigan to get his way, him and his cronies.
Yeah, well, that doesn't... Yeah, thanks for the call, Clay. I know that's part of the problem, isn't it? So I guess that's sort of a backhanded answer to the question, which is the way I would answer it as well.
Coming up next, we have a very special guest on a very special Dan and Amy.
We're going to ask a former U.S. ambassador to the UN, John Bolton, if he thinks his mustache prevented him from being National Security Advisor at 6:36.
But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Dave Stewart, who's filling in for Mike Scott.
Thanks, Amy. Thanks, Dan. 0 degrees, wind chill -16 in Chicago at 6:31 on AM 560. The Answer.
Mostly sunny but cold today, a high of 11. A new book that paints a very chaotic picture of the Trump administration goes on sale today. Publisher Henry Holt & Company is releasing Fire and Fury inside the Trump White House as President Trump's lawyers tried unsuccessfully to stop publication. The president wants to greatly expand offshore oil drilling. Tom Roberts has that story.
The Trump administration is making moves to reverse long-term bans on oil and gas drilling off the east and west coasts of the U.S. Proposed plans would include both Florida coasts. The Interior Department is working on a 5-year drilling plan, which will likely provoke strong resistance from some states. Tom Roberts, NBC News Radio.
What everyone's been calling a bomb cyclone leaving the Northwest buried under snow, including cities along the coast like New York, Boston, and Providence. The storm has claimed the lives of at least 5 people so far. Governor Rauner is trying to send a message about the Legionnaires' outbreaks at the Veterans Home in Quincy. He's spending a few days there, sleeping in a room like other residents. Legionnaires has killed 13 people at the home over the last 2 years and sickened dozens of others. 2 of the Democrats running for governor have some harsh words for U.S. Attorney General Jeff Sessions. Both J.B. Pritzker and Daniel Biss said Sessions is going the wrong direction with an order that would clamp down on legal marijuana sales in states. Pritzker says instead of recriminalizing marijuana, it should be legalized safely. The University of Illinois plans to freeze its base tuition for incoming in-state freshmen for a 4th consecutive year. The Chicago Tribune reports that means Illinois residents starting this fall will pay the same base rates as in-state students who enrolled every year since 2014, namely about $12,000 at Champaign-Urbana, $10,500 at Chicago, and $9,500 in Springfield. In sports, in the NHL, the Blackhawks host the Las Vegas Golden Knights tonight. In the NBA, the Bulls are in Dallas to play the Mavericks. News and service of Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Rocket Mortgage is simple, so you can understand the details and be sure you're getting the right mortgage. Apply simply, understand fully, mortgage confidently. Visit rocketmortgage.com today. Licensed in all 50 states, equal housing lender, NMLS number 3030. AM 560 News Time 6:33. A check of traffic in 2 minutes on AM 560. The Answer.
Dennis Prager puts our current political climate in perspective.
You should have a liberal and conservative party in the United States. We need that, but leftism is destructive. And the Democratic Party is now a left-wing party, not a liberal party. Leftism is a mortal threat to Western civilization. Liberalism is not. At this juncture, if it is good for the Democratic Party, it is bad for America.
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Get your truly free credit score and free credit monitoring from Credit Karma. Download the Credit Karma app today. Credit Karma. Get knowing.
If you have a new or existing business, understanding building and zoning codes, obtaining permits, licenses, and inspections can be a time-consuming nightmare. Well, I got a guy. I should say a fine company. Premier Consulting Group, and my friend Bill Gritsonis is the company to call. From city and suburban retail business to residential and high-rise building permits, PCG holds your hand from the beginning to the very end. Bill and his veteran team have decades of experience and a commitment to meeting client needs. Your business will benefit from expedited permits and the peace of mind knowing that your business is in complete compliance. So I highly suggest you call my guy, Bill Gritsonis, and his team at Premier Consulting Group before your next project. Call Bill Gritsonis at 312-263-4599 or visit PCGconsultinginc.com. That number, 312-263-4599, or online at PCGconsultinginc.com. Call Bill Gritsonis at 312-263-4599 or visit PCGconsultinginc.com.
At 6:35 from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center, here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, David. On the CTA, red, yellow, and purple line express trains are standing at Howard right now. Have a report of an unauthorized person, that is, on the tracks there, Howard Station. Eden's inbound, little tight Elston to Montrose. It's about a 2-minute delay. The outbound side is clear. Inbound Kennedy, slow Harlem to Foster, 22 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, up on Fine at 20. Eisenhower's slowing inbound from Damon to the Burn Circle, 31 minutes, 390 to downtown, up on Fine at 29. The Stevenson right now is delayed free. Inbound Orion, got a 1 or 2 minute delay from 18th into the loop. I-57, Bishop Ford looking good. Toys are fine. Eastbound I-80. Stop and go Shepley to River Road. There's a truck in the ditch. The right lane is blocked. Traffic is a service of LifeLock. Some mornings opening your eyes is hard, but LifeLock's eyes are already open to a wide range of identity threats. Stuff you can't see by just monitoring credit. If something happens, U.S.-based specialists can work to fix it. Go to lifelock.com. Use promo code RISK, save 10%. Traffic Answers, when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte. AM 560, The Answer.
More of Chicago's Morning Answer next, but now that forecast sunny again, but bitterly cold again with a high of 11. Clear and cold tonight, a low 4 below zero. Sunny again tomorrow, but a high of only 14. Right now it's 0 with a wind chill minus 16. Next news, 7 o'clock. You get continuous coverage of the latest news, traffic, and weather at 560theanswer.com. Now, more of Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Get Down to Business with Shalom Klein, the show for business and jobs powered by Tandem HR. Heard Sunday evenings at 6.
If you're talking about it, I'll be talking about it. Dennis Prager here. Join me this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Well, there were a number of interesting excerpts from Michael Wolff's book, Fire and Fury, which has created a furor inside the Beltway. And among the subjects that were discussed in the excerpts released, personnel decisions in the early days of the Trump administration, conversations alleged to have occurred between Steve Bannon and Roger Ailes, formerly the head of Fox News, was at the time, about particularly foreign policy, national security posts, including National Security Advisor. And one of the names mentioned by Ailes was former U.S. Ambassador to the UN, John Bolton. But Steve Bannon worried about his physical appearance.
Like Steve Bannon should be talking.
Well,
now he's sloppy Steve.
Steve Bannon,
according to President Trump's tweets.
I don't think Steve Bannon was up for NSA, but Bannon suggested that John Bolton didn't look the part, according to the president, because of the signature mustache.
The mustache makes the man.
Okay.
Please.
Well, John Bolton obviously thinks that, and we're pleased to be joined by our friend, former U.S. Ambassador to the UN, John Bolton. Ambassador Bolton, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Yeah, another wonderful morning, right?
Yeah. Hey, how are you doing?
Nobody likes to be, criticized about their fashion sense, yours truly included. But how did you react to that excerpt? Or did you kind of laugh at it, or did it ring true to you?
At this point, what else are you going to do? And I just want to say, for those of you who watch the Kennedy show on the Fox Business Network, comes on normally in the 8 o'clock hour. I was on last night, and Kennedy gave a rousing endorsement to my mustache.
All right.
So I told her I'm sure that would stand me in good stead with the president.
Well, if she endorses it, then I say you keep it.
Right. What else do you need to know, right?
So, but do you think that you didn't get the position because President Trump does not like facial hair? And we're not dealing.
I don't think so. People should remember his father had a mustache. So unless you're, deeply into Freudian stuff, I think this is all urban myth at this point.
All right. Enough mustache talk.
Silliness.
It's too heavy to continue on this stuff.
Yeah, we'll get to the reason we have you on. Is what's going on between your ears and your knowledge of geopolitical matters. So let's start with Iran and what you think the prospects are for, to borrow a phrase, regime change in Iran with the protests that are rolling through the streets, and not just of Tehran.
Well, it's a very significant development what's happening in Iran, and something that I think is a direct threat to the regime of the Ayatollahs. I think this is very different than what was called the Green Movement in 2009, when they were protesting the obviously fraudulent presidential election that kept Mahmoud Ahmadinejad in office. There, the protest was just which candidate of the regime would take over. There's no opposition to the regime as such, or at least none that was publicly visible. What we see now in these demonstrations, which have taken place by most accounts in over 100 cities across Iran, is they are chanting precisely death to Khamenei, the supreme leader, down with the regime. Now, this particular round of demonstrations may end, it may be repressed, but a line has been crossed here, and I think the regime is in trouble. I think it's much more fragile than its international appearance. I mean, you've got decades of economic mismanagement. I think that's really where these demonstrations got started. You've got nearly 70% of the population is under 30. They know they could lead a very different life. They can see it across the Gulf and Doha, Dubai, and Abu Dhabi. They see it on the internet. And there's enormous tension within the different ethnic groups in Iran. Persians are only 50% of the population. So there's a lot going on, and as I say, whatever happens with the current round of demonstrations, I think this is torqued up to a new level of threat to the regime.
Do you think that President Trump, though, should have inserted himself and supporting the protesters in his tweets?
Absolutely. I think, number one, it was important to show yet again that Barack Obama is no longer president. You know, a lot of people in foreign countries don't know anything about the American political system, no reason that they should. They sort of assume one president's pretty much like another. That's obviously not the case as we understand, but I think it is important for the president to stand up and be clear about where the sympathies of our country lie. And there's a direct analogy to some of the very strong statements that Ronald Reagan made about the Soviet Union during the last days of the Cold War, when he called the Soviet Union the evil empire. Natan Sharansky and other dissidents inside prison camps, many of them in the Soviet Union, said they heard Reagan, they heard other statements like that, and it gave them strength. It lifted their morale. It said somebody on the outside understands what we're going through here, and it gave them, helped them increase the will to continue. It boosted their courage. So I think it's important that he did it, and I think it was the right thing to do.
The president is taking some heat this week for a tweet about how big his button is with respect to Kim Jong-un's button in North Korea. A little bit of hysteria from the D.C. press corps. That's nothing new, suggesting he's engaged in nuclear brinkmanship. I thought the tweet was a little kind of gratuitous and unnecessary. But the larger point about the Trump administration's position on North Korea, consistent with the principled realist approach they're taking to geopolitics.
Well, I think that the Trump administration inherited some very bad options from its predecessors. North Korea has made enormous progress toward having the capability to deliver thermonuclear weapons to any target they want, really around the world, but obviously particularly in the United States. So he's had to try in a very short period of time to identify policies that will put a lot more pressure on North Korea, whether through China or greater sanctions. I don't think North Korea is ever going to voluntarily give up its nuclear weapons program, especially given how close it is to achieving something it's been after for 30 years. You know, if we weren't able to pressure them or talk them out of the program during that 30-year period, why did anybody think in the last 6, 9, 12 months they're certainly going to say, we got 99% of the way there, but I guess we'll stop now. It's not going to happen. So unless you're prepared to see North Korea with nuclear weapons forever, you've got some pretty tough options you've got to look at. Not that anybody wants to see military force used, but just think about what it's like to live in a world where Kim Jong-un does have his finger on the button, and beyond that can sell his nuclear technologies to Iran, to terrorist groups, to other would-be aspiring nuclear powers. So, it's a desperate situation with respect to the threat of North Korea, but it also represents potentially the crashing and burning of 50 years or more of American counterproliferation policy, the effort to prevent the spread of nuclear weapons, because North Korea's success here would prove that if you just have the determination and the patience, you too can be a nuclear weapon state. That's a very bad lesson to be learned around the world.
Well, we have the Olympics in about 32 days. They begin, and that hotline between North and South Korea has been reopened, and they have a big conversation coming up January 9th. Do you think the Olympics could help lead to any type of denuclearization?
No, this is complete propaganda. And remember, in 2000 and 2004, the North and South Korean Olympic teams marched together under one flag, as I recall, during the presidential administrations in South Korea of Kim Dae-jung and Roh Moo-hyun. two presidents who had the same view. They called it the sunshine policy. Isn't that sweet? About how to deal with North Korea. And it failed then, and it will fail now. The reason I think the North has opened this up is to distract attention, so that now people talk about, the Olympic Games. In the meantime, their nuclear scientists and their ballistic missile technicians are working overtime to complete what they need to do to have that delivery capability. So, this is a bait and switch kind of affair for the North Koreans. They've got it in their playbook. They roll it out whenever they need to, and we shouldn't be suckered by it.
Just thinking about the first year of the Trump administration and their essentially encyclical describing the principled realist approach to foreign policy, essentially reducing the budget of the UN, pulling back foreign aid to Pakistan, supporting freedom protesters in Iran, marginalizing ISIS, new sanctions on Russia. For all of the talk about feckless foreign policy, or he's out in over his depth with respect to all of these complicated international matters, seems like that actually there is sort of a consistent thread that's emerging, consistent with how they've described their approach to all of these countries, whether they're allies of convenience or open, hostile countries. And I just wonder what your kind of general assessment of the administration and his national security team is a year in.
Yeah, I mean, there's a long list of things recognizing Jerusalem as as Israel's capital, and the national security statement, as you mentioned. All of these things, I think, are in the mainstream of conservative Republican foreign policy. So, you get the media that gets its hair on fire each morning with a couple tweets that come out, when, if you look at, as you say, almost exactly a year's worth of policy, and it would be hard to distinguish, I think, what Trump is doing in the White House from what Marco Rubio, Ted Cruz, Jeb Bush would have done in the White House. So, it's hard not to kind of react when the media gets on a tear, but I'm steeling myself. I'm working on my self-discipline just to continue to ignore what the mainstream media say, and just actually focus on real events in the real world, not what's in the newspapers or on NBC, ABC, and CBS.
A good New Year's resolution for us all. He is former U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations, John Bolton. Ambassador Bolton, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
Oh, great to be with you. Thanks for having me.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
We're lucky we're not in Boston. They had the bomb cyclone. So it snowed 14 inches, and then hurricane-type winds pushed all the water onto the streets, and it's a nightmare. So
I hope Matt Damon and Ben Affleck are okay, because they live in Southie, don't they?
Yeah, they sure do.
They're frozen in my memory in Good Will Hunting, so that's where I place them geographically.
Getting counseling today. Today here in Chicago, not so nice. The average temperature this time of year is 31 degrees. We're going to have a high of 11 degrees, but with a wind chill, it'll feel like minus 20 degrees out there. Saturday, sunshine, a high of 11. And then on Sunday, we're going to break this, folks. Come on, we can do it. It's going to be cloudy, chance of light snow, and with the snow comes a little bit of warmth. We're going to have highs in the upper 20s, and we are going to hit the 30s by Monday, back to normal. Let's go now back into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Amy and Dan, for now, a lot of people are staying home. We see that in the travel times. All the expressways are lighter than usual. The tollways have no significant delays. There is a problem on eastbound I-80, Manuka area, from Ridge Road to River Road. Delays. River Road, there's a truck in the ditch, and the right lane is blocked. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
I'm Lou Dobbs. Wall Street rallying and the East Coast digging out of yesterday's blizzard, and we'll have the latest on international trade today. Those stories next. Are you being intimidated by the IRS? Rapid Resolution Tax Group is a team of tax attorneys, enrolled agents, and tax professionals who've helped thousands of people with problems just like yours, and they promise not to let the IRS intimidate you. If you are an individual or business who owes at least $10,000 to the IRS, you can turn to them for help. Has your bank account been levied? Do you have years of unfiled tax returns? Let Rapid Resolution Tax Group intervene for you. They're accredited with and A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and they guarantee same-day contact with the IRS. If you qualify, Rapid Resolution Tax Group can work towards settling your tax debt for less, removing penalties and fees, and stopping levies and garnishments. Call the professionals at Rapid Resolution Tax Group at 800-601-2929. That's 800-601-2929. Wall Street setting all sorts of records yesterday. The Dow Jones Industrials closing above 25,000 for the first time ever. And investors today enthusiastic about the economy. The stock market rally and news of 250,000 new jobs in December combining to boost investor confidence. Airports and highways digging out from the blizzard on the East Coast that virtually shut down air transportation from Boston to New York's LaGuardia Airport. More severe weather now predicted for New England, where down power lines could leave some homes and businesses without power over the weekend. Economic reports today include another update on factory orders and the latest on international trade. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 and 11 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Oh, I have a great idea. For the new year, if you haven't bought yourself a MyPillow, why not? It is the best thing that I own in my house. I can tell you that. I look forward to going to sleep every night on MyPillow. I move the fill to give me the support where I need. I've tried so many other pillows in my lifetime, and the MyPillow, I cannot live without. It is really the best night's sleep you will get. Treat yourself to a MyPillow because right now we still have the buy one, get one free offer. It has been extended through January 31st, but the deal is only available online using the promo code AMY. It is not available in stores. So I urge you to go online or call the 800 number now. That number is 800-489-0201. Tell them Amy sent you, or go to MyPillow.com, promo code Amy. And remember, there's a 10-year warranty on this bad boy, a 60-day money-back guarantee. You have nothing to lose. And get your buy one, get one free MyPillow by going to MyPillow.com, promo code Amy.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
My blood pressure significantly is so low now compared to what it was. I think I'm doing great with it.
That's one thing I like about Balance of Nature. Y'all listen, you talk and communicate, and not just give us your order. We're done. Bye. You know, it to me it makes more. I want to say kind of a family-oriented business. That we're out here for you, and we're part of your extended family, trying to fill you in, rather than just take your money.
I feel great. A lot of the aches and pains I have the arthritis in my hand seems to have dissipated most of the time, and I feel wonderful.
Have the confidence that you're giving your body what it needs. Call now to receive 35% off your first Balance of Nature order. Call 1-800-2468-751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Bob Aument, a founding partner of the law firm of Dassman & Aument and longtime personal customer of Signature Bank. Our firm recently left one of the larger banks to bank with Signature Bank, and it's been a refreshing change. With Signature Bank, we've been able to tailor banking solutions that fit the specific needs of our firm. Beyond that, Signature Bank is responsive, efficient, and timely in meeting those needs. If I have a request, I pick up the phone and talk to Mick O'Rourke, not someone at a phone bank thousands of miles away. Dassman & Aument needed more than what the larger banks offer, and we found that with Signature Bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
There's a place where you can get custom metal products. If you manage a commercial kitchen, hotel, condo building, or food-grade manufacturing plant, then no matter the type of metal or size of the project, the skillfully trained fabrication team at Vans Industrial has you covered.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, president of Vans Industrial. Custom metal fabrication is the backbone of my company. We fabricate stainless steel countertops, wall coverings, hoods, landscape planter boxes, industrial fan housings, and more. Vans Industrial uses all types of alloys like carbon steel, aluminum, brass, and polished stainless steel. And we have a laser cutting machine. Our laser can customize almost any project. Our team can design, fabricate, and install your project today.
Call 833-VANS-IND for a free inspection of your facility. That's 833-VANS-IND. Interested in what else they do? Visit vansindustrial.com. That's VANS industrial.com. Vans Industrial, customizing for you, the customer.
Hi, Amy Jacobson here, and I'm excited to tell our listeners that own or manage companies about a company you likely haven't heard of. I know that sounds strange, but with over 30 years in business, they've never had to advertise. They're that good. Anion Blinds is a local company that shares our values and have been selling and installing blinds, rolling shades, shutters, and motorized window treatments to area businesses for over 3 decades. And every review is positive. You'll be amazed how cost-effective it is working with experts who can recommend the right products, install them, and guarantee all their work. From property managers and Fortune 500 companies in need of replacement window treatments to startups in the decoration phase, Anion Blinds does everything right. Call competitively priced Anion Blinds today for your window treatment consultation at 630-662-1621 or visit AnionBlinds.com. That's ANION Blinds.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Guess what? We did it. We reached our goal. Actually, you know what? We sang this song in a band in high school. The band was called Hubie and the Janitors.
It was a Bangles cover band?
Yeah, it was. Okay.
Cool.
Where's my verse?
Yeah, I had a Bananarama cover band.
Our goal, we met our goal, and I just wanted to take a few minutes to say thank you to each and every one of you. Because of you, we raised over $180,000. I'm just going to say we raised close to $200,000 to provide food for a year and clean water for life for over 3,200 children and their families. So thank you so much. And we'd also like to thank our business benefactors. And when you hear their ads on the station, we'd want you to support those businesses as a way of thanking them for their generosity. And just because the holidays are over doesn't mean that the need has gone away. If you'd still like to make a $50 donation, call 847-862-4673. And thanks again for your generosity.
All right. Also, Taste of Freedom.
Do you smell freedom, or are we tasting freedom?
You know what freedom tastes like?
What does it taste like?
Chicken. It's presented by HealthInsuranceMentors.com. We're holding at Devante Banquets in Fox River Grove. The evening will feature a 3-course dinner at 6:30, followed by the President's speech. Of course, the State of the Union speech we're talking about. And if you hurry, you can buy tickets to sit with us, particularly Amy, at our table. But those tickets are limited, so join us and a couple hundred other AM 560 listeners for the Taste of Freedom State of the Union event. Tickets start at just $56. They can be purchased at 560theanswer.com/taste. Again, 560theanswer.com/taste. Sponsored in part by Storelock.
The book Bombshell, everyone's talking about it. We'll begin there with Brett Baer when he joins us at 7:07. But first, let's go into the newsroom and check in once again with Dave Stewart, who's been in all week for Mike Scott.
Thanks, Amy. Thank you, Dan. Among the stories we're watching today, the city is taking action against landlords who are not providing heat. We'll have a look at that story and all the local news after an update from Fox News on AM 560 The Answer, WIND Chicago. 0 degrees, it's 7 o'clock.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Michael Wolff tweeted that after all the coverage of his new Inside the Trump White House book prompted the publisher to put it on sale early this morning instead of next week.
This is a guy who made up a lot of stories to try to sell books.
That's White House spokeswoman Sarah Sanders. President Trump tweeted Fire and Fury is full of lies and misrepresentations and sources that don't exist. He also called his ex-chief strategist Sloppy Steve. Bannon is quoted in the book being critical of the White House and the Trump family. There are new investigations into Hillary Clinton. Again, Fox's John Decker, live at the White House.
Fox News has confirmed that the Clinton Foundation is being investigated by the Justice Department for engaging in so-called pay-to-play politics or other illegal activities while Hillary Clinton served as Secretary of State. The probe is focusing on whether the Clintons promised or performed any policy favors in return for donations to their foundation. Separately, the DOJ, according to the Daily Beast, is also investigating Mrs. Clinton's use of a private email server while she served as Secretary of State, including how much classified information was sent over the Clinton server. Dave?
John Clinton's spokesman says it's all a sham, politically motivated allegations that time after time have proven false. Republicans will be getting all the documents they've demanded from the Justice Department in their Russia investigation, including info on the FBI's handling of the dossier paid for by Democrats as they allege anti-Trump bias at the FBI. Congressman Jim Jordan's called on Attorney General Sessions to resign.
We're getting the same kind of slow walking on witness access, slow walking on document production.
The Attorney General's ready to scrutinize immigration judges, reassessing how they're closing hundreds of thousands of cases without decisions, allowing immigrants under scrutiny to avoid deportation and keep any benefits they're getting. This is Fox News, fair and balanced.
Good morning. It's 1 degree below zero with a wind chill of 16 below in Chicago. 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. I'm David Stewart in for Mike Scott. Mostly sunny and cold today. We'll see a high of 11. City of Chicago taking legal action against landlords for failing to provide enough heat during the bitter cold weather. City Attorney Steve McKenzie said he's asking a judge to restore the heat to buildings owned by 9 different landlords who aren't complying with the city's heat ordinance.
With such extreme weather, these were deemed to be imperative to be in court to get resolution.
Since December 27th, the city has gotten nearly 1,600 complaints about the lack of heat in local buildings. Several properties have been vacated in the past week, including a women's shelter on the south side. Chicago's police watchdog recommending the firing of Officer Robert Rialmo for the deadly shootings of Quintonio Legrier and bystander Betty Jones. The Sun-Times reports the Civilian Office of Police Accountability made the recommendation to Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson last month. The dozen people, including 8 children, are without a home after a fire on the south side. Authorities say the blaze broke out last night in a building in the 8600 block of South Vincennes. There were no injuries reported. One person is dead after a multi-vehicle crash on the Dan Ryan. That happened last night near 79th Street. The person was killed. Another taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Sears is about to close more than 100 more stores. Sears Holdings said that it's closing 64 Kmart stores and 39 Sears outlets between March and April of the coming year, with liquidation sales starting as soon as January the 12th. The company's not saying how many employees will get pink slips, but they say most of them are part-time workers. In sports, in the NHL, the Blackhawks host the Las Vegas Golden Knights tonight. In the NBA, the Bulls are in Dallas taking on the Mavericks. The news is service of Staples. Staples helps you keep your ink stocked and your business moving this year. Trade in your old printer and save up to $200 on a new Epson EcoTank, including up to 2 years of ink. Ends January the 6th. That's tomorrow. See store or staples.com for details. Restrictions may apply. Staples is pro time. AM 560 News Time 7:04. We'll check traffic in 2 minutes on AM 560. The Answer.
Sean Hannity does the math on Russia.
Now they might point to, well, Paul Manafort was indicted. What about that, Hannity? And I'm like, nothing to do with Trump-Russia collusion. Nothing. Zip. Well, what about Lieutenant General Flynn? No, that was lying to the FBI. That was not Trump-Russia collusion. Well, wait, it's coming, though. It's definitely there. No, that's not going to happen either.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
All money managers may seem pretty much the same. But while some money managers may recommend high commission investment products, Fisher Investments avoids them. Some money managers may have hidden and layered fees. Fisher Investments never does. And while some money managers are happy to earn commissions from you, whether you do well or not, Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when you do better. In other words, we're structured to be on your side. Maybe that's why most of our clients come to us from other money managers. Talk with us and find out why so many experienced investors are switching to and staying with Fisher Investments. Fisher Investments. clearly better money management. Investments in securities involve the risk of loss. Visit us at FisherInvestments.com to find out what we can do for you.
At 7:06, time for a check of the roads from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, David. The CTA reports residual delays on the red, yellow, and purple lines after a report of a person on the tracks at Howard Station. Lindenhurst crashed on Hunt Club Road at Millburn. Eastbound I-80, we see delays from the Manuka interchange to River Road. Truck in the ditch, the right lane remains blocked. The Edens is fine at this hour. Inbound Kennedy, Sloannis into North Avenue, 24 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. Quicker in the locals than the express. Outbound delay free. Inbound Eisenhower, just 30 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound 35. Stevenson, 36 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 34. Ryan is 18 minutes, 95th to downtown. Outbound wide open. I-57, Bishop Ford, Lakeshore Drive, all fine. Northbound Tri-State, a little sluggish from the Reagan Tollway to the Eisenhower. Other tollways are fine. Northwest Indiana looks great. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
We've got more of Chicago's Morning Answer next, but now that forecast for the weekend, here's meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Frigid with a full day of sunshine today. Wind chills as low as 15 below to 25 below zero. Otherwise, we'll have a high today of 11. Clear and bitterly cold tonight, low 4 below zero. Wind chill values of 10 below to 20 below zero. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
It's 4 above at the lakefront, 1 below at Midway, 1 below at O'Hare with a wind chill of -16. Next news, 7:30. Get continuous coverage of the latest news, traffic, and weather at 560theanswer.com. Chicago's Morning Answer continues now on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Empowered Investing, the show dedicated to investors. Heard Saturdays at noon right here on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy, and boy, a lot of action over at Department of Justice and FBI these days. Investigations coming from every which direction, both projecting out investigations they're doing and investigations they're the subject of. Investigations they're doing, of course, everything is tendent to the Mueller probe, but also now DOJ suggesting they're going to once again look into the Hillary Clinton email matter. A former assistant director of the FBI, Chris Zwecker, was on with Tucker Carlson, and he talked about that investigation, frankly, how aghast he was as to how the original investigation was handled under the leadership of Jim Comey at FBI, what was done that shouldn't have been, what wasn't done that should have been.
Well, as an experienced investigator, it doesn't take a congressional investigation to tell me that nothing about that investigation was right. I mean, those of us that have conducted federal criminal investigations know that you use the grand jury, you use search warrants, you don't hand out immunities like candy. I mean, everything in that investigation runs contrary to the way a real, credible, thorough FBI investigation is conducted.
And the failure to use the grand jury and kind of the mother may I approach to gathering information from Camp Clinton was a note that he struck, a note that's been struck by others too, like former prosecutor Andy McCarthy, writes for NRO. We've had on the show many times. And Zwecker, when asked, what do you think the reason was that all of these unusual choices were made in terms of that investigation, he had this to say.
It was like driving a car with the brakes on.
Why wasn't it done, do you think?
That's what puzzles myself and all of my former colleagues, people who have retired from the FBI, from executive level positions on down to the street level. The only thing I can come up with is that Director Comey placed the investigation in the hands of his inner circle, and they had their own agenda, obviously.
Yeah, they had their own agenda, and you could say the same perhaps about some of the players at Justice. And so against the Mueller special counsel, against the look into Fusion GPS and a judge ordering Fusion GPS to turn over its bank records after all.
And to see if Clinton investigation had pay to play, too.
Then you also now have...
Very busy.
You have this. Get you ready for this coalition?
Yeah. What do we have now?
Pot smokers and Freedom Caucus members, Jim Jordan and Mark Meadows, all agreeing on one thing. Jeff Sessions should be replaced. So a lot of action there.
Saw that this morning.
To help us distill it all, we're pleased to be joined by our friend Bret Baier, host of Fox News Special Report, weekdays 5 p.m. Chicago time. Bret, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Good morning.
Morning. So what about, why don't we start with the rather curious pronouncement from Justice that that they're not going to kind of relax federal prosecution of drug-related crimes involving marijuana. That the timing of that announcement, does that strike you as curious at all?
Well, yes, after the first of the year when states like California, legalized recreational marijuana. California, obviously a giant blue state. What it does is not much. I mean, it essentially says to federal prosecutors, you should follow the federal law. But symbolically, what it does is to say, hey, look over here. Remember, this is still against federal law. And states, you can do what you want, but we're watching or something. It's confusing, and I think that it sends, without Congress weighing in, a mixed message to especially to some of these businesses that are now $11 billion in the marijuana industry.
Well, and it also inhibits the kind of banking system normalizing these businesses, too, because they don't know where the federal government is on it.
Exactly, and that's a big issue because banks are skittish to begin with. You throw in the threat of any kind of federal action, and they probably won't set up shop.
So Fire and Fury, I know it's a big talk topic there in Washington, D.C., and even here in Chicago. Do you know if you're mentioned in the book at all, Bret Baier?
I have not done the Washington read yet. When you get to the back and say, scan for your name.
Yeah.
But I did get the book yesterday. And it's chock full.
Oh, what do you think, Bret? I mean, is this all...
What do I think?
Yeah,
I think
is it some lies, some embellishments, or is there some truth to it?
Well, I think that there are nuggets of truth in there. I think that Michael Wolff has a history of kind of souping things up. And clearly some of the people who were interviewed didn't think they were being interviewed on the record or say that their quotes are wrong. But remember, this guy was in the White House and interviewed a lot of people and has, more than a dozen hours of tape. So something tells me it'll sell like hotcakes. The biggest PR you could give it is a cease and desist order from the President of the United States.
Yeah, right. It'd be fun, wouldn't it, if, like how there's that passage where Ailes and Bannon are talking about Bolton and commenting on his mustache. Like, maybe there's a section in the book where they're talking about you, and they say, like, Roger Ailes says, well, I wish Bret Baier would grow a mustache. He needs to grow a mustache to look more distinguished on air.
Oh, man, I can only wait.
Well, do you know, I mean, since Steve Bannon looks like, by all accounts, brought him into the White House, he was a fixture in the West Wing. Reporters even said, reporters get the gray passes, and he had a blue one where he could always walk back and forth through the press line. Is Steve Bannon going to get a kickback from the book sales?
He's the most quoted in the book, and clearly had a big hand in it. Now, the motivation of that is what? I don't know. Clearly, he had to know that the thing was coming out, and I think the biggest mistake was an early Trump White House trying to plan out 100 days, or 1 year in to have a book come out that they thought was going to be flattering, which is hardly.
Well, right, and that's the Wall Street Journal's point in their op-ed today as well, the idea that what you get is a retrospective on those early days where it's chaotic and Bannon is the proximate cause of the chaos. So, I don't know how that benefits him in any material way.
Yeah, and I also will say a couple of things. One is the White House really got its act together. I mean, it's not a fine-tuned machine, but it is really got its act together when General Kelly took over as chief of staff. I was over there in the early days to visit various officials. It was like Grand Central Station. I mean, people were walking in and out. The Oval Office was open. The president was waving people in. It was chaotic. And that is the environment in which you read this book.
What about Bannon's future at Breitbart? That obviously was the talk of yesterday after these excerpts were released, and Rebecca Mercer making an uncommon public statement on their separation, the Mercer family separation from Bannon, and even Sarah Sanders commenting that Breitbart should take a look at Bannon's future there.
Yeah, I don't think it's bright. I bet he doesn't survive at Breitbart. And listen, the biggest person who is happy about all of this is Mitch McConnell, because he is now looking at, a weakened force that was going to soup up or support primaries against his chosen Senate nominees or candidates in these various races.
Yeah, I mean, just following up on that, Ed Rollins, who runs that is a strategist for Great America PAC, which is a Trump super PAC, said Bannon could have been a force and very helpful on campaigns. Now, this is from a pro-Trump perspective, but money people are only going to go with people who they think are tied to Trump, and Bannon has lost that. So it seems to me he's really marginalized himself, and he perhaps is soon to find himself a man without a country.
Yeah, I agree. But you know what? We've been talking a lot about this book and about the future of Steve Bannon. In reality, he did not have that much power in the big picture after he left the White House. Much more important today is, one, the meeting at Camp David about the legislative agenda, and two, what you talked about at the beginning, which is these investigations. Devin Nunes struck a deal with the Justice Department. He is getting all the documents he wants today and all the witnesses.
Right.
Finally. In his effort to find what happened with this investigation, Fusion GPS, the dossier, all that. And then you have the whole Clinton email investigation, 18 classified emails on Anthony Weiner's computer, and now word that the Foundation investigation continues apace.
Yeah. Well, so how long do you think this investigation is going to take? Because, I mean, if there was pay to play with the Clinton Foundation, which people have been suspecting all along, do you think it'll take a year, 2 years?
I mean, who knows? It has been ongoing, from what I've been told. It's been in a dormant state, but they have a whistleblower now who is talking to them behind the scenes, and maybe that changed the dynamic. They've done, according to reporting today, interviews in the past few weeks with people, new interviews.
It seems, too, that President Trump's best ally has often been the enemies inside the Democrat Party in the House and the Senate, obviously the candidate that he defeated for the presidency. Because of their hubris, their overreach. I mean, they're already talking about when they take over the House, that this is going to be a wave election. There's nothing that can stop it. You've got this story out of Politico about the continued obsession of Democrats trying to put together a 25th Amendment case against President Trump as part of their impeachment play, that he doesn't have the mental acuity for the position. Meanwhile, as you suggest, these investigations we're talking about, they have the potential to undermine the legitimacy of everything the Democrats have said for the last 2 years and their allies inside and outside of government.
Yeah, and listen, it's just perspective. What is somebody at home really paying attention to? Are they paying attention to the back and forth in Washington about fire and fury? Or are they paying attention to the fact that the stock market crossed 25,000, that the tax reform may hit their paycheck, that their business just gave them a $1,000 bonus. What if this thing pans out like in reality in the middle of America that the economy is really starting to be emboldened? The average guy at home, I wonder how much pays attention to the back and forth in D.C. And that only benefits Republicans trying to hold on to power.
Right. It's the net of it is after all of, I've kind of heard at the top line level the accusations back and forth, and a year and a half in, 2.5 years in, there's nothing there, or maybe even you get evidence to suggest that it's actually, as Kim Strassel has written about repeatedly, maybe everything we understand is actually incorrect, and there was questionable activities mostly center-left, not center-right. Then you lose standing in the public's mind on the range of issues, pocketbook and otherwise.
Yeah, and listen, it gets muddy. We shouldn't. Here's the giant caveat: is that we don't know what Mueller is going to bring forward, and
Right.
it could be
Right.
it could be devastating,
Right.
and it could be money laundering. It could be all kinds of things, but it also could be really murky and muddy. And because of all of the mess here in D.C., what really matters to people at home? And I think that's what it's going to come down to.
All right. He is Bret Baier, anchor of Fox News Special Report, weekdays, 5 p.m. Chicago time. Also, the author of the book about the Eisenhower administration, 3 Days in January. Bret, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Have a good weekend.
You too.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Coming up next. Oh, it's happening. Oh, you know what? Why don't you tease it?
Let me
I can tell you about it, but you tease it.
let me ask you this question, and we'll get a response. Is Thai penis whitening the new Bitcoin?
First, here's your forecast. Plenty of frigid temperatures out there, just bone-chilling cold. We'll have wind chills at -10 to -20 below zero. And then Saturday, it's going to be sunny, but a high only of 11 to 15 degrees. And on Sunday, things are going to get a little warmer around here. We're going to have cloudy skies, a chance of light snow in the morning, then light snow in the afternoon, some sleet as well. Highs in the upper 20s. Let's get into the Alarm Detection's Traffic Center. Here is Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy and Dan. Airports are in recovery mode today after so many cancellations, thousands yesterday across the country, and there are some today as well. About 65 cancellations at O'Hare and about 14 at Midway, mostly again affecting East Coast travel. Eastbound I-80, we see delays from the Minooka interchange to River Road. It's a truck in the ditch and the right lane is blocked. The Edens at the moment is delay-free. Not Kennedy, 24 minutes, so O'Hare to downtown, much quicker in the locals than the Express. Outbound, it's fine. The Eisenhower, just 30 minutes, 390 to downtown, outbound 31. Stevenson, 36 minutes, 355 to the drive, outbound good. The Ryan, 19 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State, heavy approaching 290. The other expressways and tollways are just fine. Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
If you have a new or existing business, understanding building and zoning codes, obtaining permits, licenses, and inspections can be a time-consuming nightmare. Well, I got a guy. I should say a fine company. Premier Consulting Group, and my friend Bill Gritsonis is the company to call. From city and suburban retail business to residential and high-rise building permits, PCG holds your hand from the beginning to the very end. Bill and his veteran team have decades of experience and a commitment to meeting client needs. Your business will benefit from expedited permits and the peace of mind knowing that your business is in complete compliance. So I highly suggest you call my guy, Bill Gritsonis, and his team at Premier Consulting Group before your next project. Call Bill Gritsonis at 312-263-4599 or visit pcgconsultinginc.com. That number, 312-263-4599, or online at pcgconsultinginc.com. Call Bill Gritsonis at 312-263-4599 or visit pcgconsultinginc.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
We are so thrilled with this product. He was literally getting up, laying on the couch, and falling asleep. He's so alert. It's amazing, totally amazing. This is a great product. His sodium levels have been low for I would say maybe close to 20 years. He's normal now. And this is the first time. And I can't even thank you enough.
The last thing I want to do is stop taking this. I definitely have lots more energy.
Have the confidence that you're giving your body what it needs. Call now to receive 35% off your first Balance of Nature order. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
Do you have a family? Would you like to help make sure they'll be taken care of if anything were to happen to you? If you answered yes, you probably need life insurance. Now, do you think life insurance is expensive? If you answered yes to that too, you definitely need to give AIG Direct a call. We could find you a $250,000 policy for just $14 a month, which means you could save hundreds of dollars a year. Call us now for a free, no-obligation quote. 1-800-400-1902. Since 1995, we've helped millions of people find out if they could save up to 70% on their term life insurance. See how affordably we can help you protect your family. Call AIG Direct now for your free quote. 1-800-400-1902. You could save up to 70%. That's 1-800-400-1902. 1-800-400-1902.
Hey, Joe Walsh here. Wouldn't it be great to have all the energy you want all day long? Unfortunately, fatigue often gets in the way even for everyday activities, and it seems to get worse every year, right? Here's why. When you're 20, your body has a natural ability to maintain healthy circulation. But by age 40, that ability decreases by half, and that leaves you feeling really tired. So, what can you do to increase that youthful natural circulation and fight fatigue? Drink Super Beets. Super Beets promotes the body's own natural ability to produce healthier circulation for increased energy and stamina all day long. Only Super Beets is made from beets grown to exacting standards, then concentrated into superfood crystals. Right now, call 800-516-0243 or go to walshbeets.com. With your first order, get another 30-day supply of Super Beets free. Call 800-516-0243 or go to walshbeets.com today.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, we like to profile what's going on in other faraway lands, call it a cultural exchange. And so this story got my attention. Bangkok Clinic draws 100 men a month to its penis whitening service, causing quite a stir in Thailand, both confusing and alarming some members of the public. But the Lelux Hospital, renowned for its body whitening expertise, I guess you're familiar with like teeth whitening.
Yeah, and I've done teeth whitening before, but now the big thing is penis whitening.
Well, this is like teeth whitening, but for your penis.
Well, it's a cosmetic treatment. It alters the pigmentation. There's 5 sessions. It costs $650, which that's not too bad. Did you see the video? It's gone viral. 4.5 million people have watched it. I watched a little bit of it, and I had to turn it off because I don't know how people could put themselves through that kind of pain in the heathen region. But apparently this one guy, it started because this one man came in and he said, my penis is a different color than the rest of my body, and I want it to be lightened.
Yeah, apparently there is
a thing.
In Thailand, they're a bit obsessed with skin color.
Mm-hmm.
And this male customer complained of dark parts on his groin.
Right.
Don't know if it was Manny Pacquiao or not. I'm not sure.
Stop it.
But yeah, so that's what sparked this business. You know, that's good. A nice entrepreneurial sensibility. They seized on an opportunity.
Well, it's the same hospital where they did the 3D vagina procedure.
Of course.
Well, that's a place. Well, they take your body fat. They'll get liposuction. They'll take the fat from one part of your body and put it into the area down there to give it a plumper look. Kind of like collagen implants for your lips, but it's a little different if you know what I mean. Yeah. The other set. Got to make everything look good.
I mean, well, you know, what do you have for the ladies? And you've answered the question.
They are not gender biased there.
Yeah, the whitening service is about $650 US. Yeah.
They also sell skin whitening pills, which I think maybe Sammy Sosa might have ingested a few tons of those.
Yeah, he's ODing. representative of the hospital, it's a good market to enter, so we offer the ultimate body treatments to our clients, either men and women.
I love the headline. No, it's not nuts. Men are lining up for penis whitening.
I don't get it.
Coming
and
up.
I won't get it.
Thank you. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Well, number one, we're going to have the December jobs numbers, and the projection is 250,000. So we'll see if the Labor Department says that projection was accurate. And we'll talk to Scott Shalady at the top of the 8 o'clock hour about the jobs numbers and Dow 25,000. But first, legalize or criminalize dope at 7:37.
But now let's go into the newsroom and say hello once again to Dave Stewart.
Good morning, Amy. Good morning, Dan. 1 below 0, wind chill minus 16 in Chicago, 7:31 now on AM 560, The Answer. Mostly sunny, cold today, a high of 11. North and South Korea are sitting down for talks next week. The January 9th meeting expected to focus possibly on including North Korea in the upcoming Winter Olympics in South Korea next month. NBC's Bill Neely has some insight from London.
The head of U.S. forces in South Korea has warned against raising hopes over North Korea's peace overture. General Vincent Brooks stating simply, we must keep our expectations at the appropriate level.
There will also likely be discussions on how to improve relations and other topics of mutual interest. It's the first time these two countries have held talks in 2 years. The United Nations Security Council has an emergency meeting today on the protests in Iran. The U.S. asked for the session. At least 21 people have been killed. Hundreds have been arrested. The Justice Department launching in another investigation into the Clinton Foundation's activities when Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State. The FBI is reportedly leading the investigation into whether the foundation promised or fulfilled any political favors in return for donations. City of Chicago taking legal action against landlords for failing to provide enough heat during this bitter cold weather. City attorneys asked a judge yesterday to restore the heat to buildings owned by 9 landlords who are not complying with the city's heat ordinance. The massive winter storm on the East Coast is still wreaking havoc at Chicago's airports. The storm forced the cancellation of more than 250 flights yesterday at O'Hare and more than 60 at Midway. And police in Park Ridge are looking for the tow truck driver accused of damaging more than a dozen parked cars on New Year's Eve morning. Authorities say the driver hit a tree on West Oakton Street and then drove away with a tree limb stuck in the towing arm of the truck. That truck headed down Northwest Highway with that limb sticking out. That limb hit 14 cars and trucks parked along the side. In sports, in the NHL, Blackhawks host the Las Vegas Golden Knights tonight. In the NBA, the Bulls are in Dallas to take on the Mavericks. The news is service of Staples. Staples helps you keep your ink stocked and your business moving this year. Trade in your old printer and save up to $200 on a new Epson EcoTank, including up to 2 years of ink. Ends January the 6th. See store or staples.com for details. Restrictions may apply. Staples, it's pro time. AM 560 News Time 7:33. We'll check traffic in 2 minutes on AM 560, The Answer.
Still taking your child's temperature the way it was done decades ago? Upgrade to the Exergen Temporal Scanner Thermometer. The Exergen Temporal Scanner Thermometer, available at fine retailers everywhere.
Email and the internet have done some wonderful things for business owners. There's more information at your fingertips, making decision-making a lot easier. The downside for some is the lost advice and interaction of working side by side with someone who can help. If you're looking for a business accountant that provides one-on-one service, call our newest business benefactor, James Cardelis of Archer Tax and Accounting. For example, at a recent visit to a small client, Archer Tax saved the family at least $60,000 through deferred capital gain taxes, probably forever. That does not happen with a monthly email of a data file. 2018 will be a crazy year for sole proprietors and small businesses with the new tax laws. If you want an idea of how your business will be affected and how to capitalize on the new rules, Archer Tax is offering a free consultation to discuss your needs one-on-one. Call 708-633-9854. Again, 708-633-9854 or visit archertax.biz today. The website again, archertax.biz.
If you or a loved one suffers from long-term depression, disabling anxiety, or suicidal thoughts, a practical cutting-edge in-office therapy solution is available. Maybe it's the consequences of concussion, traumatic brain injury, PTSD, addictions, pain, effects of stroke, or a combination of these that's caused frustration with no hope of help. The Neuroscience Center specializes in these treatment-resistant conditions, often caused by coexisting disorders. For decades, TNC has successfully used a variety of proven methods to evaluate and subsequently treat the problems with novel and even patented procedures, like the concurrent administration of TMS with ketamine infusion, returning patients to a fulfilling life. Call the Neuroscience Center in Deerfield and learn more at 847-236-9310 or neurosciencecenter.com, 847-236-9310 or neurosciencecenter.com. The Neuroscience Center, practical approach, cutting-edge therapy.
At 7:36 from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center, here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, David. On the Kennedy inbound, we see delays from Kimball to North Avenue in the local lanes. Delays start around Diversey in the Express. The locals are quicker right now. 24 minutes O'Hare to downtown, 13 from Montrose, but 18 in the Express. Outbound, there's a 2-minute delay, Foster to Sayre. Edens is fine. Got Eisenhower, just a little slowing starting around Damon. 30 minutes, 390 to downtown, outbound 31. Stevenson, 36 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound fine at 34. Ryan is 20 minutes, 95th to the Loop, outbound good. I-57, Bishop Ford, Lakeshore Drive, all fine. On Tri-State, heavy from Reagan Tollway to the Eisenhower. The other Illinois tollways are all good. I-80 eastbound, we see delays from the Minooka interchange to River Road. Truck in the ditch, the right lane is blocked. And traffic is a service of Advocare 180 system.
Ready to start the new year with a new lifestyle? Ready to get healthy? Ready to totally transform your life? Start now with the Advocare 180 system and compete in the transformation competition to win $25,000. See advocare.com/2018 for rules and details. Start now.
Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
More of Chicago's Morning Answer next, but now the forecast. Sunshine, but bitterly cold today, a high of only 11. Clear and cold tonight with a low of 4 below zero. Sunny and continued cold tomorrow with a high of 14. Right now it's 1 below zero at O'Hare with a wind chill of -16. Next news, 8 o'clock. Get continuous coverage of the latest news, traffic, and weather at 560theanswer.com. Now more of Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Alpha Wealth Group, bringing the trilogy of estate, tax, and investment planning together. Visit alphawealthgroup.com for a free report.
If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So in the wake of the pronouncement from Attorney General Jeff Sessions that it will not be U.S. policy to let legal marijuana flourish, suggesting that, lifting the Obama-era policy that kept federal authorities from cracking down on the pot trade in states where the drug is legal. This, as we were just talking with Brett Baer about, just 3 days after a legalization law for recreational use went into effect in California. So whose side are you on? Old fuddy-duddy Jeff Sessions, who wants to enforce the prohibition on the marijuana trade, or those states and those members of Congress? Cory Booker through MoveOn.org sent out a missive yesterday asking for people to sign the petition to support federal action to legalize marijuana nationally, so that you don't have a patchwork of laws, so you don't have states doing one thing and the federal government suggesting something else, as Jeff Sessions did. U.S. Attorney for Colorado, U.S. Attorney General for Colorado said, U.S. Attorney Colorado's top prosecutor said his office won't alter its approach to enforcing marijuana crimes after Jeff Sessions withdrew the policy that allowed marijuana markets to emerge in states like Colorado. U.S. Attorney Bob Troyer commenting in Colorado that he will not change enforcement policy, meaning he's not going to prosecute marijuana-related crimes. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636-DA, turnkey.pro text line. According to a latest Harvard-Harris poll, 49% of Americans believe marijuana should be legalized both for medical and personal use. 37% say it should be legalized solely for medicinal purposes. So, a total of 86% of respondents support legalizing marijuana in some form. Only 14% say marijuana should be legal across the board, but 49-37 in terms of recreational use versus just medicinal use.
And I have a friend who smokes pot. I says, well, you drink, so I don't like alcohol, so why can't I smoke pot?
Mm-hmm. And what do you say to your friend?
You know what? Again, my position on this has changed because at first I was completely against it, and then slowly society is changing, and different states have different rules. And do I think it's encouraging sometimes people to try marijuana? Yes. I have a college roommate who lives in Colorado who now has pot-laced gummy bears to help calm her down.
Yeah.
And she never, ever, ever smoked pot. And she's like, well, I'm still not smoking pot, but I'm consuming it in different ways, and it's legal. So
the ingestion of marijuana. I'm not so sure the form is important, but to that, alcohol is legal, and more people die from alcohol. Blah blah blah. Anthony Esselin, a great intellectual Catholic scholar in particular, he's addressed this argument before. He writes in one op-ed, "I deny both the fact and the reasoning." The fact and the reasoning of the statement. Marijuana is no more obnoxious than alcohol. If you condone the latter, you must condone the former. I deny both the fact and the reasoning. People may take a drink and not get drunk, but nobody smokes a joint of marijuana without achieving the intention, which is to get high. But if it's not feasible for people to outlaw one bad thing because of the peculiarities of the culture, that does not require them to legalize another bad thing to boot. We might as logically say that both ought to be made illegal. It's nonsense. The law does what it can do, and the fact that it cannot do everything is no reason for it not to do anything at all. He goes on to suggest about with respect to the advocates for legalization. If you want to argue it's a necessary evil, okay, we can take up the grounds, that it's more damaging to outlaw marijuana than it is to legalize it. Okay, well, we can have that argument. But he makes the point, but let the advocates also concede that even if it should prove necessary, which I doubt, it's still an evil. And we would be better off without the drug, and certainly better off without the debased view of a world that sees the drug as a mere thing to consume, that places self-gratification and self-absorption above self-denial and love for others. So because one thing is illegal or not, it doesn't necessarily logically follow that everything in that category of mood and mind-altering substance can and should be. And if it's a necessary evil, at least can start from the premise that it's evil, is Esselin's point. Does he have one? David in McCook, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, good morning, guys. I'm kind of neutral on the issue. I could care less whether they legalize it or not. I've heard nobody address the fact that, I don't know the percentage, but probably maybe 50% of the jobs are drug tested. So how are these people smoking weed and working?
Well,
that's a good question.
Thanks for the call, David. Probably a lot of people aren't. By the way, there's a study that came out last year. I think we mentioned it when it was released. Review of Economic Studies, this back in the late summer of last year. Study looked at the Dutch city of Maastricht. Students, and it looked at academic performance specifically. The students who weren't allowed to legally access marijuana saw their grades significantly improve, especially in classes that required numerical and mathematical skills. This suggests, the study does, that a significant consequence of marijuana legalization, as is the case in Maastricht, could be worse academic performance, and that could, of course, trickle out to any other outcomes or work that generally requires using your brain. Yeah. Just the specifics of the study. On average, students performed 11% of a standard deviation better and were 5.5% more likely to pass courses when they were banned from entering cannabis shops. This is interesting, too. Notably, the study did not find differences in studying time. So it wasn't the case that those with access to pot just spent too much time getting high and not as much time studying, which would obviously lead to worse outcomes. So it actually has a material effect on your ability to think lucidly and perform academically and ostensibly in a workplace. So I'm just saying, you want to have the discussion on this, fine, But let's start from certain premises and let's lay out the facts before we just rush headlong into agreeing with oversimplifications like if alcohol's legal, then pot should be legal. Harry in Hawthorne Woods.
Good morning, guys. How you doing?
Morning.
I am in favor of it being legalized. I think it's bad for you. I think I've seen it. Well, I know I've seen it ruin lives, certainly in high school back in the 70s and stuff like that, and used on a chronic basis where it becomes the thing that's important. Then it's definitely destructive. But I still don't want the government being paternalistic. Now, as far as these studies go, showing detrimental school grades and performance and that kind of stuff, there is a phenomenon called state-dependent learning. I doubt if you're familiar with it. But certain people function better if they've been high all the time. For instance, if they study on speed, which a lot of kids do in college or did back in the day, if you don't take the test on speed, your performance is poorer. Okay, that's a medical fact.
With
do I think it's good?
withdrawal symptoms. Yes.
What I don't need is a paternalistic government. Grabbing kids and throwing them in jail and destroying their lives over something like this. You're not going to stop the people who want to smoke it from smoking it. I take issue with the fact, or the presumed fact, that it's going to increase its use if it's made legal.
Yeah. Okay. But
But
one argument. I mean, there's a lot there. There's the prohibition argument. I understand, and we can go back to when alcohol.
That's part of it. That's part of it. The other is, do you believe in individualism?
Yes.
Or do you want the government to act as your parent?
Right. So you've got specific policy arguments, and you've got a philosophical argument. I get it. I'm familiar with them. But the argument that you made that because something cannot be stopped completely, it shouldn't be prohibited is not an argument.
I don't think it's their place to stop it.
Well, that's a different argument. Yes, that's a different argument.
Absolutely. That's absolutely. The other thing is this: look at what it's done. It did exactly what prohibition did. It's created a bunch of mini Al Capones. These people who are out, the dealers are out killing people that are innocent and stuff.
I would put them out of business.
Thanks for the call, Harry. Yeah, no, I understand.
And it would be a stream of revenue for Cook County and the state of Illinois.
That's the argument about prohibition, highest murder per capita rate in our country's history was during the 14 years of prohibition. That's true. The fact you don't have a forum for dispute resolution, so it's might makes right on the street, right? These are legitimate issues to raise in terms of the cost of the war on drugs as it's currently prosecuted versus the costs of legalization. Now, let me just suggest one other thing. The war on drugs doesn't have to be prosecuted the way it is being prosecuted. So it's a bit of a false binary to say it's either full legalization, heroin at the CVS, or it's the civil liberties infringing, overarching, over-militarized approach to the war on drugs taken by law enforcement at every level at the direction of civilian political authorities.
Well, if it was sold at CVS, the FDA would be in charge of it, and then we wouldn't have any tainted heroin that kills so many people. Just a thought.
Yeah, I understand. Right. So this is normalizing it, legalizing it, tax it, revenue stream. Right. The FDA, number one, doesn't get everything right. Number two, there are certain products that are by their very nature dangerous, unhealthy, lethal. Doesn't mean they should be prohibited. Not necessarily. My point is to say that, have all of the factors, but don't look at variables that you want to be static that are not static. And other variables that you want to be dynamic. In other words, the war on drugs, as it's currently prosecuted, just to complete my thought, it doesn't have to be prosecuted this way with the abuses that people are referring to. So that's just kind of a part of the conversation that you have to address. I go back to what Esalen said. Start with the fact that it's an evil. Now, if you want to make a threat assessment and talk about the costs on both sides, the costs of legalization and benefits and the costs and benefits of prohibition and pursuing prohibition in a particular way, that seems to me the policy conversation you want to have. Dan on the north side.
Yes, I was reading that one of the reasons that Jeff Sessions said it increases violence.
when I smoke marijuana, about the only thing I wanted to do is vandalize a bag of double-stuffed Oreos.
Okay, thanks, Dan. I appreciate it. Ralph and Rantoul.
Yeah, good morning. I grew up in the age of rampant drug use, and I lost friends to it, both, just me removing them from my circle of friends because of their spiraling downward lifestyles, and then, one through death, through not overdose, but he didn't know what he was doing, and he stepped out in front of a train, didn't recover from that one. Yeah, I think Esalen starts with the essence of the argument, which is it's a moral one, not necessarily economic. So, there are all kinds of economic arguments to be made about successfully or unsuccessfully prosecuting the war on drugs. But if you start with a moral premise that it's not right, to alter your state or to otherwise self-dissociate from reality, then that's really where the argument starts. I don't think it's the right thing to do. I realize I'm probably going to be on the other side of a lot of people's arguments, but I don't think it's a good idea. I think it's a bad road for our society to go down. And do I want the government to be my nanny? No, I don't. But I also don't want the road to be clogged with a bunch of other morons all high that I can't control because they're exercising their free will.
Thanks for the call, Ralph. Let me go back to Anthony Esalen on this, too. He makes a really good point about in response to the libertarian argument. You heard from Harry and Hawthorne Woods. I'm sure you'll hear from others. And I'm not saying it's illegitimate. I'm just offering a response from Esalen. He writes, the advocates, generally speaking, are really advocates. They're advocates of usage. They presume the role of government is to grant to individuals as much leeway or license as possible to pursue the gratification of their desires, and to do this without examining the nature of those desires, their moral effect upon the human person, or the injury they may do to the common good. Whatever I want gains a prescriptive claim for legality simply because I want it, and all other considerations must be at best secondary. They misconstrue liberty, do these individuals. They see it as something extrinsic to their persons. It's a state-sanctioned empty field. It is defined, or rather undefined, by what the state cannot tell you that you cannot do. It is a misunderstanding of liberty and richness in the truest sense. The rich nation, Esalen writes, is not the one that produces 300 million self-absorbed men and women gratifying themselves at the poolside, but the one that raises men and women of nobility and virtue. The former is a culture of death, the latter a culture of life. Ann in Chicago, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Oh, thanks for taking my call. We were talking about it, and I kind of feel like it's going to ruin the economy. Where are the people going to pay for this? They'll sacrifice food, they'll sacrifice this. Once they get addicted, they'll have to have it all the time. So I don't think it's good for the county, it's good for the state, but I don't think it's good for our economy in general.
All right, thanks for the call, Ann. Appreciate it. Matt in LaGrange.
Hi, my one thing is, the health implications down the road. What happens if they find out that pot causes cancer? So now we have a bunch more of lung cancer patients that the government has to pay for because these guys don't have insurance because they're too stupid enough to have a job.
All right, thanks, Matt. Chip in St. Charles.
If I was a marijuana smoker, the last thing I would want is the government to legalize it, because I think once the government takes over, the price of the marijuana is going to go way up. Everything the government touches, it costs 5 times what it should, and the government should know that if they think that the black market for marijuana is going to go away because it's legalized, I think they're wrong, because I think the whole marijuana industry, even right now, is crooked. And from what I see here out in the hinterland, there's a whole bunch of stuff showing up here from Colorado, and I don't think it's being sold legally. So, all right, you guys have a nice day.
Thanks, Chip.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Roof is needy?
Call Grumweedy.
630-595-8020.
Roof is leaky? Call Grumweedy.
630-595-8020.
Shingles are curly?
Call Grumweedy.
630-595-8020.
Roof isn't right after it's stormy? Call Grumweedy.
630-595-8020.
Here comes winter. This is Mark Olson.
And Greg Olson of Crumweedy.
Since 1953, the roof guys for your home and business.
We fix roof problems. Hate the high pressure?
Not from us.
We give you multiple options. Then you choose.
A roof that lasts at a fair price.
We fix roof problems.
When your roof is needy,
call Grumweedy. How about the number?
630-595-8020. 630-595-8020.
Call us. We make sure your warranty is in place. Crumweedy, 630...
Wait. Just remember, myroofisneedy.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
We love the product. I think we've been on it for, 12 years now, or pretty close, and we believe in it, and we're going to continue taking it.
I have a $1,200 knee brace because I have bone on bone in my left knee, and I have a torn cartilage in my right knee. And since I've been taking Balance of Nature, I don't wear my brace, and I can walk without pain. It's I had these copper things I used to put on my knees. I don't use those either. I don't use anything. I think it's just wonderful.
Have the confidence that you're giving your body what it needs. Call now to receive 35% off your first Balance of Nature order. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity, sponsored by Upstream-Ideas.com. In 2018, the GOP's continued standing as the majority party will turn on the participation of culturally anxious voters, the people who appreciate the distinctions between liberty and libertinism, the people who understand the implications of erasing the lines between decency and indecency, the people who are respectful of the time, money, and lives of others, the people who recognize identity politics for the cultural poison that it is, the people who still talk of men and women without the cisgender modifier, the people whose lives are defined by the love of family and friends, not the popularity of a hashtag campaign. The people who will listen to rather than shout down an opposing viewpoint. The people who see things for what they are rather than redefine them through a distorted political lens. The people who believe in being their brother's keeper but don't believe they should be forced to be a sugar daddy. It won't be a single issue. It's not going to be a question of one accomplishment or one failure. It'll turn on whether or not Republicans let cultural Marxists run roughshod over people in their offices, their churches, and their kids' schools. The GOP's majority status will turn on its ability to serve as political Xanax to the culturally anxious.
People search the internet for everything, including you. With a few clicks, information from your past can be quickly discovered, from business deals gone wrong to misleading reviews, negative articles, and unflattering images. Studies show 78% of people search for someone online before doing business with them. Will they find the real you? With ReputationDefender.com, you can establish a positive internet presence. ReputationDefender.com pioneered the field with over a decade of experience, serving thousands of successful individuals and businesses. We use patented, award-winning systems to boost positive content and suppress negative material. Don't let the internet define you. Take control of your reputation today with ReputationDefender.com. For your quick, free reputation analysis, call 800-651-4888. That's 800-651-4888. 800-651-4888. Or visit ReputationDefender.com.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Jerry Kerrigan, one of the owners of F.J. Kerrigan Plumbing Company, a third-generation family-run business. Our trusted longtime accountant referred us to Signature Bank, and we've never been happier. On one of our first meetings, Signature Bank CEO Mick O'Rourke said, "You worry about running the business, and we'll take care of everything else." Since that initial meeting, Signature Bank has lived up to every promise they've made. The decision-making is local, the staff is consistent, and the service is outstanding. FJ Kerrigan Plumbing understands the value of long-term customer relationships, and we plan to be a customer of Signature Bank for a long time to come.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
He says President Trump is helping him sell his book. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
Where do I send the box of chocolates?
Michael Wolff wrote Fire and Fury, which made the president furious. And then it was rushed into stores, on sale now instead of next week, he tells NBC's Today Show.
He's helping me prove the point of the book. I mean, this is extraordinary that a president of the United States would try to stop the publication of a book.
Fox's John Decker's live at the White House.
Despite an attempt by President Trump's lawyers to block the sale of the explosive new book about the Trump White House, the publisher of Fire and Fury released the book at midnight. Its author, Michael Wolff, claims he spent 3 hours with the president since the inauguration. But White House spokeswoman Sarah Sanders disputes that.
We said they spoke once by the phone for a few minutes, but it wasn't about the book. They had a very short conversation, but he never interviewed the president about the book.
The president tweeting before the book's release that the book is full of lies, misrepresentations, and sources that don't exist. Dave?
And John, there was a slowdown in hiring last month. Fox's Carol Zimmer details the Just Out report live.
Dave, employers added 148,000 jobs in December, the lowest pace in 3 months. The unemployment rate remained at 4.1%, the lowest level since 2000, and at a number that's considered a full employment economy. The job gains were less than forecast, but workers' pay rose 2.5% from December 2016 to this past December. Dave?
Carol, on Wall Street, stocks could rise again the day after the Dow hit 25,000 for the first time. Republicans are getting what they wanted, new investigations into Hillary Clinton from her time as Secretary of State. The Daily Beast reports the Justice Department will review her private emails and will probe the Clinton Foundation, and allegations favors were given to donors. A Clinton spokesman calls it a sham. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Good morning. It's 2 degrees above zero, wind chill minus 15 in Chicago at 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. For Mike Scott, I'm David Stewart. Mostly sunny but cold today, a high of 11. City of Chicago taking legal action against landlords who failed to provide enough heat during the bitter cold weather. City Attorney Steve McKenzie asked a judge yesterday to restore the heat to buildings owned by 9 landlords for not complying with the city's heat ordinance, including the owner of a Southside women's shelter called Claris.
The temperatures were in the 20s. And they vacated the building because it was uninhabitable.
Since December 27th, the city has gotten nearly 1,600 complaints about a lack of heat in local buildings. Chicago's police watchdog is recommending the firing of Officer Robert Rialmo for the deadly shootings of Quintonio LeGrier and Betty Jones. The Sun-Times reports the Civilian Office of Police Accountability made the recommendation last month to Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson. A dozen people, including 8 children, are without a home this morning after a fire on the south side. Authorities say the blaze broke out last night in a building in the 8600 block of South Vincennes Avenue. No injuries reported. That massive winter storm on the East Coast is wreaking havoc on the airports. The storm forced the cancellation of more than 250 flights yesterday at O'Hare and more than 60 at Midway. Governor Rauner trying to send a message about the Legionnaires outbreaks at the Veterans Home in Quincy. He and First Lady Diana Rauner spent a few days at the Veterans Home, sleeping in a room just like other residents. Legionnaires killed 13 people at that home and has sickened dozens of others since 2015. And police in Park Ridge are looking for the tow truck driver accused of damaging more than a dozen parked cars on New Year's Eve morning. Authorities say the driver hit a tree on West Oakton Street, then drove away with a tree limb lodged in the towing arm of the truck. The truck then headed down Northwest Highway, and that tree limb hit 14 parked cars and trucks. In sports in the NHL, the Blackhawks are hosting the Las Vegas Golden Knights tonight. In the NBA, the Bulls are in Dallas, where they'll play the Mavericks. AM 560 news time, 8:04. Time now for the AM 560 Business Beat. And from the Fox Business Network, here's Carol Zimmer.
From the Fox Business Network. Apple says its Mac computers, iPhones, and iPads are affected by chip security flaws that were discovered this week. But the company says it doesn't know of any problems that have affected users because of the flaw. Cannabis stocks plunging after Attorney General Jeff Sessions said the Justice Department will get rid of a policy that gave protections to states that have legalized marijuana. That ended a strong rally in cannabis-related stocks this week. Former Uber CEO Travis Kalanick has always boasted that he's never sold any shares in the company he co-founded. Now, Kalanick plans to sell about 29% of his stake in Uber, and he stands to get about $1.4 billion from the transaction. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Carol Zimmer.
AM 560 News Time 8:05. Traffic in 2 minutes on AM 560, The Answer.
All right, I have to admit it was an eyesore, the chipping and paint peeling on our front and back porch. It looked awful, but thanks to CertaPro painters, the porch looks brand new. The painters who showed up were professional, respectful. They were done in just a few hours, and when they left, the house looked brand new. They really are the best in the business, and it's not too late to book your painting project. There are several spots open on CertaPro's schedule. Here's an idea. Let CertaPro painters transform your home while you're on vacation and return to a freshly painted house. They're celebrating their 25th anniversary this year, and so we invite you to experience the CertaPro difference. For a free estimate, call 1-800-GO-CERTA, C-E-R-T-A, or visit CertaPro.com, that's Certa with the C. Get that painting project off your to-do list. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated. Call 1-800-GO-CERTA, C-E-R-T-A. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life.
Message and data rates may apply.
Guys, this may be the last time you ever have to think about hair loss. Because I'm telling you, Bosley is the real deal. They're giving men their hair back permanently. Their real hair. All it takes to get started on the hair gain train is a single text message. We'll send you a link with direct access to a special website that unlocks an incredible offer. An absolutely free information kit and a free gift card. Simply text STRONG to 85850. Bosley will show you for free how great your hair could look. Dude, this isn't your dad's hair loss treatment. People all over the country trust Bosley because they're America's #1 hair restoration expert, ahead of the curve with the latest technology. And the best part, Bosley's solution is permanent. Drop what you're doing, get direct access to a special site for your free information kit and gift card for $250 off by texting STRONG to 85850. That's STRONG to 85850.
All money managers may seem pretty much the same. But while some money managers may recommend high commission investment products, Fisher Investments avoids them. Some money managers may have hidden and layered fees. Fisher Investments never does. And while some money managers are happy to earn commissions from you, whether you do well or not, Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when you do better. In other words, we're structured to be on your side. Maybe that's why most of our clients come to us from other money managers. Talk with us and find out why so many experienced investors are switching to and staying with Fisher Investments. Fisher Investments, clearly better money management. Investments in securities involve the risk of loss. Visit us at FisherInvestments.com to find out what we can do for you.
At 8:08 from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center, here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, David. Chicago's airports report about 80 cancellations today, most of those at O'Hare. The airports continue to recover from yesterday's mess on the East Coast. Edens has outbound delays, Montrose to Cicero, 22 minutes, Montrose to Lake Cook, inbound fine at 19. Kennedy, 29 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 19 from Montrose, 17 in the Express. Up on 28 to the airport. The Eisenhower, 37 minutes now, 390 to downtown. The delays are from Austin to the Burn Circle. Up on 31 minutes to 390. Stevenson, 36 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Up on fine at 34. Mount Ryan, 22 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State heavy from the Reagan Tollway to the Ike. Veterans Memorial still Maple to the Reagan Tollway. Eastbound I-80 is jammed. Manuka Interchange to River Road. Right lane is blocked. A truck went into the ditch this morning. Traffic's now down to a single lane westbound, heavy Maple to Parker, where there's a crash in the right lane. Northwest Indiana's fine. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
We've got more of Chicago's Morning Answer just ahead, but right now, the weekend forecast, and here's meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Today, a full day of sunshine, but frigid. High 11. Clear and bitterly cold tonight, low 4 below zero. Sunny to partly cloudy and bitterly cold tomorrow, high 14 and a low of 4. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
We're above zero, barely. 4 at the lakefront, 2 at Midway, 2 at O'Hare, with a wind chill minus 15. Next news, 8:30. Continuous coverage to the latest news, traffic, and weather at 560theanswer.com. Chicago's Morning Answer continues now on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy, and jobs numbers for December out. The projection or the data collection by ADP and Moody's had a big number, 250,000 jobs in December, meaning 2.54 million new jobs in the year 2017. The Labor Department's number is a bit lower, 148,000 jobs added in December, bringing the total new jobs created in President Trump's first year to a fairly robust 2.1 million jobs, in addition to the nice 3% plus GDP growth, again, something that we saw for 3 straight quarters and we didn't see for 8 years under President Obama.
Yep. And the unemployment rate stayed the same at 4.1%.
For more on the numbers and the meaning and Dow 25,000.
Yeah, let's not bury the lead, Dan.
Well, that's part of the lead. I don't know. I mean, look, Scott the cow guy, Scott Shellady. Yeah, he's a bit of a cynic.
You think?
He's not a rosy optimist. He's been, warning us about this economy on a sugar high for many moons. I wonder if he's changing his tune. I wonder if he has liquidated
swinging from chandeliers this morning.
Well, I wonder if he's also liquidated all his assets and put them in Bitcoin.
Oh.
For more on all of these topics, we're pleased to be joined now by Scott the Cow Guy, Scott Shellady, Fox Business News contributor. Hi, Scott.
Yes, good morning.
Morning.
Hi, you happy this morning?
Well, no, there's just lots to talk about. I mean, this is such a mishmash. I mean, there's a few other extenuating circumstances out there. I'd like to add to the fact that we've seen, I mean, you probably have it on the tips of your tongues, but, the Dow year over year last year was up 25%.
Right.
And the NASDAQ was up 28%. I mean, those are huge numbers. But we just had some information come across our desk that said that in the last 5 years, so 2012 to 2017, individual retail investors pulled $1 trillion out of the market. So this rally has been really not participated like everybody thinks it has been. And a lot of the money that's been put in has been institutional and or stock buybacks and stuff like that. So maybe when we start to see the retail investor get back in is when you really should get out, because usually that's how this thing all works out.
Well, so elaborate on that, particularly with the tax cuts getting done and the prospect by some of our more optimistic supply side friends like Steve Moore of 4% GDP growth this year.
Well, I've been doing it 30 years, guys, and I think that one significant thing that's different with Donald Trump this time around than presidents we've had in the near past is that he's one of the most difficult things to turn around is sentiment. Right? You can start to turn some of these economic indicators around with policy like tax cuts and the like. But at the end of the day, we're finally starting to see the sentiment morph into CEOs buying property, opening up their pockets, spending money on equipment and the likes. And that is the hardest thing to get done. See, psychological problems in the financial world are so scared, right? Nobody wants to talk about a recession or deflation because a lot of those deflationary issues are psychological, right? Nobody's spending money even though things are okay. There's a ton of books written on how to combat inflation because that's not a problem really. That's not a psychological issue. It's more of a financial issue. But so Trump has done a great job psychologically turning around the country's psyche, and then that's really been, I think, a large part of this rally in stocks.
How do you think Bitcoin and all of that stuff that Dan is dabbling, cryptocurrency is going to affect the stock market?
Well, I think it's way too early to get involved with those things, and I mean, and it's our business is overregulated, just like everybody else is, and I've had to take so many tests and exams and refresher courses over the last 20 years. And one of the first things that they always really want to warn us about is money laundering, right? Mm-hmm. Does this customer really have the money, or is it coming from Russia? So I think that Bitcoin and the likes and all the other coins that are out there are going to be rife with people laundering money. And I still think that there's no way you're not going to have the government get involved where there's that type of thing easily going on. So way too early to tell if this thing's going to really... I mean, I love the blockchain technology, and it's going to have some great applications. But as far as these Bitcoins and cryptocurrencies, it's just too early to tell. The best way to say it is right now we're in the pioneer stage, and my definition of pioneer is a guy with a coonskin cap face down in a puddle of muddy water with an arrow in his mouth, okay? That's where we're at with Bitcoin right now.
That's vivid. Thank you for that. Now, Paul Manafort did ask me to hold some of his assets and deploy them, so that's why I've gotten into cryptocurrency, so I'm just saying. But go back to what you were saying before, particularly about your industry being overregulated. Seems to me one of the underreported stories, and we've tried to overreport it here to make up the difference, is the deregulation that's occurred in Trump's first year, or just the restraining the government from continuing to pile on new regulations. Trump famously said towards the end of the year, 22 regulations repealed for every new regulation. And so you started to see the sentiment turn around and that GDP growth spike up well before any taxes were cut.
Yeah, and then that goes back to my point. I mean, he's been able to turn sentiment around just by doing a few things like regulation. That's going to make the CEO feel like, hey, we've got a business-minded guy in office for the first time in a while. I mean, look at the people that were in office under the last administration and see how many of them ever really worked in the private sector. I mean, it's shocking to find out how many of them never worked in the private sector. So, I also saw something which you probably reported on this, Dan, but Rasmussen came out with a poll at the end of the year, only last week, that said that both Obama and Trump had almost identical approval ratings at the end of their first years.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And I think, obviously Obama started real high and then slid down. And obviously Trump has rallied a little bit. But it's interesting to see that at the end of the day, you love him or hate him, and he's easy to hate. I get it, right? But when you have a stock market that rallies 25% in 1 year, and the sentiment has done such a big turnaround, it's hard not to be excited about the future if you're a CEO in America.
But do you still have the concerns that you've expressed on this show before? I mean, this was still during the campaign, so still during President Obama's tenure mostly. But about the Fed's tinkering with the money supply and quantitative easing and these kind of sugar high that the market was on, the economy was on, or do you think that as the Fed has receded in terms of its tinkering, and you see the deregulation and now tax relief, that we're kind of getting past that and we're on more stable footing?
No, I don't think we're on more stable footing. Not at all.
Okay.
I mean, we're now running up against a record of the longest amount of trading days without a 5% pullback, and the record was set in 1929. So we have a stock market that has benefited from stock buybacks, and I mean, we haven't the mergers and acquisitions. We haven't seen. I mean, even at 4.1% unemployment, Dan and Amy, how can we have 4.1% unemployment, which is almost a full percentage point below what all economists used to say 5% was full employment.
Mm-hmm.
And look at the wage growth. The wage growth numbers come out today. I mean, they're tepid. Okay, they're not going down, but they're really. If we really have a 4.1% unemployment rate, we should be ripping the faces off each other trying to employ people with higher wages. It's just not happening. So something's broken, and that's the problem that we can't figure out. And the Fed doesn't know the answer, or they would have obviously done it already. Number one, and number two is they've always been wrong. They've been consistently wrong. So, look, I don't even know how you can say in this environment you have to raise rates, except for the fact that those people like the Jimmy Iurio is a good friend of mine in the world that want to see some sort of quote-unquote normalization, and normalization is getting interest rates back up to a healthier level. But look, 30 years I've been doing this job, you only ever raised interest rates to get out in front of an overheating economy or an economy that's about to overheat. And can anybody tell me our economy is even close to overheating? No. So we've got problems, and the Fed's at the chart, they're at the helm, and they just don't know what to do. Nobody knows what to do. That's the problem.
All right, you used up your two violent metaphors. You got your ripping faces off each other, and you got your Davy Crockett face down in a puddle with an arrow in his back. So that's all we allot to any guest,
right.
Scott. Scott Shalady, Scott the Cow Guy, Fox Business contributor. Scott, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Wow, the bombshell book, the author of it was just on the Today Show and had some scathing remarks about President Trump. Ouch. We'll get to that. But first, here's your forecast. Plenty of sunshine, but just still dangerously cold out there. Wind chill advisory in effect, could go as low as minus 20 below zero. Saturday, sunshine, a high of 11 degrees. And on Sunday, we're going to have clouds, a chance of light snow in the morning, then a chance of snow and sleet in the afternoon. Highs in the upper 20s and 30s by Monday. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
And eastbound I-80 traffic is jammed from the Minooka interchange to River Road. Crews are trying to get a semi out of the ditch. Traffic's down to a single lane. Westbound, it's very heavy now from LaGrange Road to Parker Road. There's a crash in the right lane. Edens is fine inbound, but outbound we're seeing delays from Montrose to Cicero with a crash in that area. 22 minutes Montrose to Lake Cook. Kennedy inbound delays start at Kimball. 29 minutes, so O'Hare to downtown, outbound 28. The Eisenhower, 37 minutes from 390 to downtown. The delays are from Harlem to the Circle, outbound 40 minutes to 390. Stevenson, 36 minutes, 355 to the drive. The Ryan, 22 minutes, 95th to downtown. Southbound Lakeshore Drive, little sluggish from Belmont to North Avenue. Tollways are much lighter than usual. Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Upstream-ideas.com, premium content that complements what we do each morning on this show. Long-form interviews in our Against the Current series this week featuring Zach Model, who's a executive, fourth-generation manufacturing concern, Atlas Toolworks and Lyons. Talk about manufacturing in Illinois. A lot of insightful commentary and perspective from a practitioner in the space. My 60 Seconds of Sanity commentaries, 2-minute warnings from Pat Hughes at Illinois Opportunity Project. Follow the Logic Man on the Street segments and podcasts of our Illinois Rising program covering state policy and politics. It's all at upstream-ideas.com.
Relying on checking your credit to help protect you from identity theft? You're kind of walking through life with blinders on.
Parking meter. That came out of nowhere.
Because there are many kinds of identity theft you can still get blindsided by.
Look out! Bike messenger. Didn't see him coming.
Like someone getting an online payday loan in your name or selling your personal information on the dark web.
Open manhole. That snuck up on me.
LifeLock sees more. We use proprietary technology to detect a range of identity threats. And if you have a problem, a U.S.-based identity restoration specialist will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses, but LifeLock can spot threats you might not see coming.
Horse-drawn carriage. Sheesh.
Memberships start at $9.99 a month plus applicable taxes. Now get 10% off. Go to LifeLock.com and enter promo code SMART. That's promo code SMART. LifeLock. More detection, more protection.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
We love the product. I think we've been on it for, 12 years now, or pretty close, and we believe in it, and we're going to continue taking it.
I have a $1,200 knee brace because I have bone on bone in my left knee, and I have a torn cartilage in my right knee. And since I've been taking Balance of Nature, I don't wear my brace, and I can walk without pain. It's I had these copper things I used to put on my knees. I don't use those either. I don't use anything. I think it's just wonderful.
Have the confidence that you're giving your body what it needs. Call now to receive 35% off your first Balance of Nature order. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
The results are in. A survey of Inc. 5000 companies shows the top barriers to growth.
It's taking finance too long to close the books.
So slow to launch new products. We need to hire good people and keep them.
Too many disconnected systems. I can't see what's happening in my business.
Sounds like they've outgrown their business and financial management systems. QuickBooks and spreadsheets worked fine at the start, but now it takes twice the effort to get things done, and you can't get accurate answers. You should know the #1 system for growing companies, NetSuite from Oracle. NetSuite is the one system that tracks and manages revenue, cash flow, HR, inventory, projects, even e-commerce for every industry. Now you can run your business from a dashboard on your phone. That's why thousands of companies use NetSuite. It's the only system you need to run your business. Go to netsuite.com/radio to get your free guide called Crushing the 5 Barriers to Growth. That's netsuite.com/radio.
The war on depression is over.
You win.
Depression, with all the drugs and side effects, the endless counseling, the frustration with life and relationships.
The war is over. You win.
In a few short weeks, your life will change.
It's TMS therapy.
Over 1 million people have been treated, and the results are nothing short of outstanding. It's FDA cleared. It's covered by most insurance, including Blue Cross Blue Shield and Medicare.
Most drugs and other treatments just mask the depression.
TMS treats the cause, so you can win the war with your depression. Remission or cure.
Depression gone.
Get a free consultation at one of the HPR centers in Chicagoland and Wisconsin. Ask questions.
For you or someone you love, safe, revolutionary, effective treatment for depression.
Let depression recovery begin. HPR centers.
800-604-0208. 800-604-0208.
Go to endmydepression.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
President Trump tried a cease and desist. That failed, and Fire and Fury hits the store shelves today, 4 days early. And the author, everybody knows his name now. What is it? Michael Wolff was just on the Today Show with Savannah Guthrie. And
Matt Lauer was unavailable.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry. I don't know if you know he's been replaced. But he talked about one thing that everybody agreed upon in his 200-plus interviews is that President Trump is infantile.
And what are some of the ways the president was described to you by those closest to him?
You know, I will tell you the one description that everyone gave. Everyone has in common. They all say he is like a child. And what they mean by that is he has a need for immediate gratification. It's all about him. I mean, this letter for this cease and desist letter. I mean, I still have sources in the White House, and I know everybody was going, we should not be doing this. This is not smart. And he just insists. He just has to be satisfied in the moment.
So what you're saying then, Mr. Wolff, is that he's like 95% of Americans in the 21st century that require instant gratification in the moment.
Well, I think
baseness
kids
for the base.
require instant gratification. If they send something out or tweet something or Instagram it, they want instant gratification.
Have you ever been around politicians?
Not so much.
Yeah.
It's a different world, I'm sure.
Have you ever been around media types?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
baseness for the base.
All right. Well, it gets worse here. Now, he's almost suggesting that he might be senile or have the beginnings of a mental disorder.
This man does not read, does not listen. So he's like a pinball, just shooting off the sides.
One of the more disturbing observations you make in the book is that the president's close advisors, people around him, have noticed him repeating stories, expression for expression, you say, within a short period of time.
In a shortening period. So they've all tracked this, that it used to be, I know people would point out that in the beginning it was like every 25 or 30 minutes you would get the same 3 stories repeated. Now it's the same 3 stories in every 10 minutes.
Oh, and what's the suggestion there? Because that goes beyond saying, okay, the president's not an intellectual. I mean, what are you arguing there? You say, for example, that he was at Mar-a-Lago and didn't recognize lifelong friends.
I will quote Steve Bannon. He's lost it.
Yeah. I mean, I have no idea. I find that difficult to believe. The evidence that Michael Wolff presented of having the attention span of a circus monkey, I believe, of being senile or, losing it. Steve Bannon said a lot of things. They seem to run in contravention to one another. So is he an 11-year-old child who has to be gratified, or is he somebody who's lost it and thus needs to be catered to? Is it a function of his personality and his attention span, or is it a function of a condition? Which one are you suggesting? They seem to be suggesting both simultaneously. I'm not sure.
Asked about, did you cross the line here? Were you invited? How did you get such unprecedented access?
What was I doing there if he didn't want me to be there?
Well, let me ask you, did you talk to the president? Did you interview him for this book?
I absolutely spoke to the president. Whether he realized it was an interview or not, I don't know, but it certainly was not off the record.
And you spoke to him at the White House after he was sworn in?
I spoke to him after the inauguration, yes.
All right, so he might be senile, and I took advantage of him because he didn't know if I was interviewing him or not.
No.
I mean, that is strange, because he was a guest of Steve Bannon's, and then all of a sudden he became a permanent fixture in the West Wing.
So this is the question, the
know who's in your house.
The issue of the questionable decision to have someone follow you around in the early days, and again, the book seems to me to be a retrospective on those early days, and as we've heard from Noah Rothman at commentary, Brett Baer this morning, there was a change in the culture when General Flynn was installed as chief of staff. And so it is interesting in terms of a retrospective on the early days of the Trump administration, but it's not necessarily reflective of present-day Trump administration, and so that needs to be remembered as well. It's always, to me, a very curious thing when you give somebody unfettered access. So if this was a Bannon decision, which it seems to be, I don't know that it was a judicious one, particularly until you have your house in order. This is much like, you saw the documentary Weiner.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
And then at the end of the documentary, what does Anthony Weiner say? Why did I let you guys follow me around?
Yep.
Because you think you're going to come off well in this? You're not.
Bad behavior he brought upon himself. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We've got that man from Elgin who's having slumber parties in his basement for the homeless, quote-unquote slumber parties. That's until the city of Elgin got involved and told him to cease and desist. We'll talk to Greg Schiller at 8:38.
But first, let's go into the newsroom. Say hello once again to Dave Stewart, filling in for Mike Scott.
Thank you, Amy. Thanks, Dan. It's 2 degrees above zero, wind chill minus 15 in Chicago at 8:31 on AM 560, The Answer. Mostly sunny and cold today. We'll see a high of 11. That new book painting a chaotic picture of the Trump administration is on sale today. Trump has blasted the author, Michael Wolff, describing the book as phony, said he never granted Wolff access to the White House, but Wolff gave a different story on NBC's Today Show this morning.
So I absolutely spoke to the president. Whether he realized it was an interview or not, I don't know, but it certainly was not off the record.
Book excerpts were published this week, and Trump has been particularly furious at former White House chief strategist Steve Bannon, who is widely quoted in the book. What everyone's been calling a bomb cyclone leaving the Northeast buried under snow, including cities along the coast like New York, Boston, and Providence. The storm has claimed the lives of at least 5 people so far. Governor Rauner trying to send a message about the Legionnaires' outbreaks at the Veterans Home in Quincy. He and his wife are spending a few days there, sleeping in a room just like other residents. Legionnaire's disease killed 13 people at that home and sickened dozens of others since 2015, despite state efforts at a cleanup. 2 of the Democrats running for governor have harsh words for U.S. Attorney General Jeff Sessions. Both J.B. Pritzker and Daniel Biss said that Sessions is going in the wrong direction with an order that could clamp down on legal marijuana sales in the states. Pritzker says instead of recriminalizing marijuana, it should be legalized safely. The University of Illinois plans to freeze its base tuition for incoming in-state freshmen for a 4th consecutive year. The Chicago Tribune reports that means Illinois residents, starting this fall, will pay the same base rates as in-state students who enrolled every year since 2014. And that means $12,000 at the Urbana-Champaign campus, about $10,500 at Chicago, and $9,500 in Springfield. In sports, in the NHL, Blackhawks hosting the Las Vegas Golden Knights tonight. In the NBA, the Bulls take on the Mavericks in Dallas. The news is a service of Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Rocket Mortgage is simple so you can understand the details and be sure you're getting the right mortgage. Apply simply, understand fully, and mortgage confidently. Visit rocketmortgage.com today. Licensed in all 50 states, equal housing lender, NMLS number 3030. AM 560 News Time, 8:34. Traffic in 2 minutes. on AM 560, The Answer.
Mike Gallagher warns of impeachment.
Of course, after the Alabama election, they are very cocky. They pray they're going to get control of the House and the Senate so they can begin impeaching the President of the United States. They're going to impeach him because they don't like him. There's nothing he's done. Will the Republicans make any change to anticipate this looming storm on the horizon?
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Get your truly free credit score and free credit monitoring from Credit Karma. Download the Credit Karma app today. Credit Karma. Get knowing.
If you have pain, listen up. Dennis Prager here. You don't need to live in pain. Let me repeat that. You don't have to live in pain. Chronic pain is the worst, whether it's from an accident or pain that just develops. So, Chicagoland, you're in luck. Dr. Ken Candido is one of the nation's most respected and successful pain doctors. He's been voted one of Chicago's best pain doctors several times. Bottom line, he's the pain doctor you need. Dr. Candido of Chicago Anesthesia and Pain Specialists will help you get off pain medication and all of its side effects. How? By finding the source of your chronic pain and fixing it.
This is Ken Candido of Chicago Anesthesia Pain Specialists. Let's make you pain-free.
Call Dr. Ken Candido and make an appointment with a cutting-edge, respected, and successful pain physician. Go to mypainchicago.com. That's mypainchicago.com. Thousands have been helped with their chronic pain, and you can be the next one. Get the phone number and all the info you need at mypainchicago.com.
At 8:36 from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center, now here's Jim Talamonte.
Thank you, David. On Chicago's northwest side, got a crash at Foster and Cicero, and this is causing a bit of delay on the outbound Edens from Montrose to Cicero. It's 22 minutes from Montrose to Lake Cook. Inbound fine at 19. Kennedy, inbound delays. Pulaski to Ohio. You get 33 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 23 from Montrose, 19 in the Express. Outbound 13 minutes to Montrose, 28 to O'Hare. About Eisenhower. So Harlem to the Burn Circle, 40 minutes either way between 390 and downtown. Outbound still Harlem to 25th. Stevenson holding at 36 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 34. To Ryan, 20 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, Bishop Ford, both fine. Southbound Lakeshore Drive, still Irving Park to North Avenue. Tollways are good, but I-80 eastbound, it's jammed. Winoka Interchange, River Road. Road's down to one lane due to a truck in the ditch. Crews will try to get that unloaded. Westbound still, LaGrange Road to Parker, crash in the right lane. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
More of Chicago's Morning Answer next, but now the weekend forecast. Sunshine today, but bitterly cold. A high of only 11. Clear and cold again tonight, low to -4. Sunny and cold again tomorrow. A little bit warmer, high 14. Right now it's 2 above zero and a wind chill -15. Next news, 9 o'clock. Get continuous coverage of the latest news, traffic, and weather at 560theanswer.com. Now, more of Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 on your mobile device. Now available on iHeartRadio. Online at iHeartRadio.com.
Let freedom ring this afternoon at 2 with Sean Hannity, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. This story comes to us from Elgin. Greg Schiller, resident of Elgin, is also managing director at a ministry, pastor at Light in the Darkness Ministry. He decided to offer up his unfinished basement at his home for the homeless during this Arctic blast that we've all been enduring over the last several weeks. But the city of Elgin got wind of it, and they commanded Mr. Schiller to stop opening up his home to the homeless for these quote-unquote slumber parties because, of course, it's against city code. City spokesperson Molly Center saying, "While we appreciate those who volunteer to provide additional resources in the community, Mr. Schiller's house does not comply with the codes and regulations that guard against potential dangers such as carbon monoxide poisoning, inadequate light and ventilation, and insufficient exits in the event of a fire," she said. I suppose the obvious reaction is, I don't know, if I was homeless, maybe inadequate light and ventilation would be the lesser of my concerns when it's 20 below outside.
The least of my concerns, yes.
So, the city ordinances run into this resident's desire to help out his fellow man How should this be resolved? Let's get Greg Schiller's perspective. Greg Schiller joins us now. Greg, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
So before we
I got to answer something really quick.
Oh,
I gotta
go ahead.
jump on this.
Go
you
ahead.
brought up the smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors and stuff. The city came down here and tested those. They're here. They work.
Oh,
I also have a fire extinguisher in my basement, and I stayed up with them all night supervising.
Okay.
Well, how many people are we talking about? How many people are in your basement right now?
Right now, me.
Okay.
How many people?
I'm down here.
How
I'm
many-
sitting down here talking to you?
How many people, were you housing is the question.
At most 15.
Okay. And so here's the thing. Now, I'm going to be the kind of compassionless bureaucrat here and ask this question.
Okay, that's cool. I've been dealing with them a lot lately.
All right, so Greg, by calling these slumber parties, isn't that indication of guilty knowledge that you knew you were breaking the local ordinances, that you knew the code didn't allow for this, and so you shouldn't be doing it?
Well, first off, these people are my friends. I've been working in the homeless community for going on 6 years here. I know all of them. I know every homeless person on the street here. I have relationships with several of them, the ones that would let me close enough to have that relationship. The people that were down here are all my friends. And, this is basically the city telling me who I can have over, who my friends can be, and where we can congregate in my home.
Was there indicators of slumber party of the
Well, I called it movie nights, but it fell under as far as
movie night?
Because that's what we did. We watched movies all night, drank coffee, hot cocoa. And
Oh,
stuff.
hot cocoa. That's slumber party fare.
That is.
Did you,
Okay, yeah,
did
and
you
I
have
mean-
did you have s'mores? Because I think that would seal it for you.
No, we didn't have s'mores, but we had all kinds of pastries and stuff, and
What
the
movie?
typical things that my cookies and.
What movies?
It definitely fit. Oh, well, let's see. I've got a whole collection of them here.
All right.
I got to turn the light on.
Oh, well,
But
there is light down there.
We watched like Courageous.
Courageous was.
I've got an old Lassie movie here that we watched one night. And then we watched some action films like Divergent and The First Night.
Okay.
Well,
that's a pretty good selection of movies.
So, do you have a neighbor who complained and didn't want like the foot
No,
traffic,
we
or
believe
who?
that it was. We believe that the complaint came from someone who has a personal axe to grind with me, who doesn't live anywhere around here. All my neighbors around me, they support me. They bring us donations. They love what we do here. It's the neighborhood I live in is very blue collar. I've got Section 8 housing right behind me. I live in a cul-de-sac with in the cul-de-sac is all Section 8 townhomes. None of my neighbors were calling because they're over here bringing me donations.
Well,
They're
last
coming
winter,
to we do homeless barbecues in the summertime here.
Okay.
With live bands in the garage and 2 barbecues going, and we've got the entire homeless community here at the house. And they come out and they bring food for them too. They join in and they participate. So it didn't come from anyone here.
Well, so tell me, last year you had people in your garage, correct?
That's where I started it. Yeah, that was an emergency thing. I got a call from a homeless gentleman who said the wind's going to be blowing really hard tonight. The temperature, the wind chill's going to drop down really low. Can you help us? And the only thing I had at the time was my garage. So I fired up some propane heaters. I cracked the doors so we had ventilation, and I brought 15 people into the garage. And I did that for about, I want to say, 2 weeks. And I had a gentleman who has a heart condition who was having a problem. He almost passed out. So I had to call for an ambulance for him, and the EMTs reported us to code.
Yeah, right.
So that's when I moved him into the basement.
So this is important to note because it wasn't like this is a one-off. This is something, like you said, these are your friends. This is something you actually are doing year-round, different activities depending on the season. And
right.
so
I've been trying to push the city to help us get a building to help end the homeless problem in Elgin, because it is an issue here.
Yeah, but there's
We've
shelters.
got shelters here, but they're not always open, or they don't take all the people. Subsequently, on any given night in Elgin, there's probably about 30 people left on the street.
And so, right, and so, and the other thing too, we talked about this a bit earlier. Well, I mean, there's a pad shelter, and there's a church that has a shelter. At least it was reported by NBC5. First United Methodist Church of Elgin operates a shelter.
Yeah, they only open up when the temperature's 15 degrees, and they don't, or lower, and they don't consider wind chill.
Right. Well, and the other thing too is, hey, if these homeless people that know you and trust you, if they want to go to your place rather than pads, what's wrong with that?
The only problem I have with that is I know PADS is funded by the numbers. So for every person that's not there tonight, they won't receive X amount of dollars.
Okay.
And I don't want to do that. I mean, because they are trying to do good work here. They're housing people down there. I know that at times in the wintertime, they've got up to 60 people in there. So I don't want to interfere with them, but the people that are coming to me are the people that can't get into PADS.
Yeah, okay.
They're the people that PADS turns away for various reasons, for criminal history, sex offender status, drug or alcohol use, mentally ill, whatever. I don't have any problem with these people. They respect me. They respect my girlfriend. They respect my neighbors. We've never, ever had to call the police in 2 winter seasons, or when we were having our homeless barbecues in the summertime. We've never had a problem with them.
Okay. Well, where does it stand now with the city? Because did they say that you have 24 hours to return your basement to storage, or they'll take it down?
That's already happened. That 24-hour period has expired. I did comply. I did restore my basement to a storage area. They did come down, take pictures, and they said that no further sanctions are going to be levied against me or my girlfriend. So right now we're reaching out to another area church that has expressed a desire to work with the homeless. We're going to talk to them next week and see what they have in mind.
Yeah, but it's going to be minus
really
20
what we need here, we need a building that we can operate as a shelter that will take everybody and turn no one away.
Right. Well, okay.
We don't have that.
And that,
Rockford has something like that. Aurora has something like that. Chicago has things like that. We don't have it here, and because of it, people are falling through the cracks and they're ending up on the street. And all I'm doing is trying to fill a gap in the wintertime.
Yeah, and maybe I wonder if a conversation with some village officials to say, there's a medium term or maybe even a relatively short term solution to this, and you're describing one possible avenue. But in the interim, living in real time and this real weather, hey, why don't you guys just, back off and let me have my friends over? And we're not doing anybody any harm, and let's work together to find this housing solution such as one you're describing.
That I tried to talk to the city code officials about that. I had the supervisor was out here, and they're pretty to the letter. Their issue is, and they're talking about a hypothetical, and I'm talking about a definite. They're talking about the hypothetical fire that kills everybody in the basement.
Right.
Which, I mean, if a fire were to start upstairs, there's nothing down here to burn. This is a concrete floor and concrete walls all the way up to the ceiling. The only thing wooden here is the ceiling itself. If there were a fire to start down here, like I said, I'm up all night and I'm supervising. I'm alert. I can get these people out of here in under a minute.
But get beyond the code enforcement officers to the actual elected officials, is my question.
Well, yeah, the next thing we're going to do, we are going to be talking to the city council and the mayor here in the coming week. But I don't know what good it's going to do. But what I'm looking at is, their issue is a hypothetical. My issue is a definite. You leave these people out in the cold, someone's going to die.
Yeah.
Period. That's going to happen. We just had a man freeze to death at the Clark and Lake Station in Chicago 2 days ago.
I know. That was awful.
Sitting on a bench.
Okay, so the 15 people that were sleeping in your basement, they will be safe because we just have to get through Sunday, and then when Sunday things
right. When the temperature rises above 15 degrees, there will no longer be a shelter for these people that were in my basement. These people that cannot get into PADS, cannot get into the crisis centers, typically for women and children, so they're not going there.
Right.
PADS is the only other option, or the shelter at First United Methodist Church, which is it's just a temporary warming center. I ran that shelter for 2 winter seasons, and they don't turn anybody away. If they're high, drunk, whatever, they can come in. as long as they're behaved.
What is
the problem? Is it only opens at 15?
Yeah, right.
What do they do? I mean, our bodies are what is it? 83% water. Water freezes at 32 degrees. What do they do from 32 degrees down to 15?
What is
when that shelter opens for them? We've got, they have about 40 people a night down there when they're open. Granted, some of those people are people that can get into pads. Pads is all the way out on the west side of town. A lot of them don't want to walk all the way there in the cold. All of the soup kitchens and resources for them are in downtown Elgin. So some of them, probably about a half dozen to a dozen of them, will end up at that shelter overnight.
What is the Managing Director, Light in the Darkness Ministry? Tell us about Light in the Darkness Ministry.
Light in the Darkness Ministry is, I used to, like I said, I used to run the shelter downtown. I founded a ministry called Matthew 2540 about a year and a half ago. I resigned from that and went out to I'm a street minister. I want to be on the street. I want to be doing things at street level. I don't, we started a 501c3, and I really didn't want to be a part of that. So I went back to the street, and I'm in the street with the people, which is where I belong. I'm a soldier.
Least of
I don't
my
need to be
brother.
sitting at a desk. I'm a soldier. I'm out there with the people, showing them love, showing them kindness, and helping them any way I can. I'm always available to them, and that's what Light in the Darkness is about.
All right.
I have a small group of dedicated volunteers. We distribute clothing. We distribute toiletries. We were providing shelter, but the city says we can't do that anymore. Various needs. Take them to a doctor's appointment if they have a doctor appointment. If they end up hospitalized, hey, Greg, can you come pick me up at the hospital? They'll let me out. We'll go get them. Get them into rehabs. Some of them have some very serious drug or alcohol addiction issues. If they want rehab, they want help, we'll get them into rehabs. We'll transport them as far as Davenport, Iowa, to the Salvation Army Adult Rehabilitation Center out there, if we have to.
Well, maybe we can encourage some of the enlightened members of the city council to offer a special dispensation here. But Greg Schiller, Managing Director of Light in the Darkness Ministry, pastor, street minister, as he describes, good luck with the situation there and your work on behalf of the least of your brother, per Matthew 25:40.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot for joining us. Appreciate it.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper, hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Famous conservative quotes, presented by Automated Systems.
Our second president and true patriot, John Adams, said, "They define a republic to be a government of laws and not of men." How true, especially in today's political climate.
I know you support companies that share your conservative values. For FDA-regulated staffing needs, Automated Systems provides top talent, from experienced quality control and quality assurance engineers to top validation and compliance experts. Depend on Automated Systems. Hiring the best is critical to success. ASI resources are all degreed professionals with decades of experience in manufacturing, automation, and FDA compliance. That's why ASI is retained by all of Chicagoland's Fortune 500 life science companies to successful startups. For a staffing evaluation, call Laz at Automated Systems, toll-free 844-HIRE-ASI, or visit AutomatedSYS.com.
Restaurants come and go. Very few last. When you find a restaurant that's served margaritas, fun, and fantastic food for over 2 decades, you can bet it's great.
That's the one-of-a-kind landmark Cafe Salsa Mexican Grill and Tequila Bar in Countryside. Cafe Salsa offers daily lunch specials, happy hour in the bar, half-price house margaritas on Wednesdays, and on Monday and Tuesday, 2 for $22 dinner specials. Ready to eat? Try Mexican-inspired influences on traditional fare, like Cafe Salsa's margarita salmon, honey chipotle glazed pork chops, and amazing carne asada with mushroom salsa. Plus, fajitas, a fantastic selection of quesadillas, many flavorful steak and chicken dishes, and shrimp tacos, hot off the wood-fired grill. Cafe Salsa's dining room is perfect for birthdays and family get-togethers. Check out their complete menu at cafesalsa.com or call 708-352-5100.
Make your plans for lunch or dinner today at Cafe Salsa, 55th Street and LaGrange Road in Countryside, cafesalsa.com.
Hey, Butch, all I ever see you eat is raw meat, whiskey, and an occasional bowl of rusty nails. Now, I know you're tough, but with your diet, what's your secret to avoiding the flu?
Jim, this is between us. You hear?
Sure, Butch, you can trust me.
Well, I take Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies. I take them on the go or under the table when no one's looking. It's the only way I'd ever get over 10 real servings of fruits and vegetables.
Is it like a vitamin or something?
No, it's food. They only use real whole ingredients. Not that isolated or synthetic crap you get with all the other guys. This is real stuff, Jim. Real stuff. They sell direct to consumers and ship right to your door, free of charge.
Well, Buckaroo, how do I get them?
Call them at 1-800-2468-751. Write it down, Jim, before someone sees me. It's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code WAGON for a special offer.
Jimmy John's Freaky Fast, Freaky Fresh.
I'm calling because I saw one of your delivery persons today, and he was totally naked.
Ma'am, I sincerely want to apologize for any...
Buck naked right there on the street.
Ma'am, we're doing all we can to...
And I say it's about darn time.
I know, and I'm gonna... Wait, what?
The human body is a beautiful thing, don't you agree?
Well,
We've suffered the tyranny of clothing for way too long.
Okay, but...
So thanks, Jimmy John's, for going all natural.
Actually, ma'am, it's our meats that are all natural.
Say what now?
Our meats are all natural. Wood smoked ham, choice roast beef, real fresh turkey breast, all natural and freaky fresh.
So I don't suppose I can expect all natural delivery in the future.
No.
Darn.
One size fits all has no place in your bedroom. Hi, I'm Christian von Rickenbach, founder of Helix Sleep, and we know one mattress can't work for everyone. That's why we created the only mattress built for you. Go to helixsleep.com, take our 2-minute sleep quiz, and we'll build your custom mattress and ship it to you for free. Try it for 100 nights, and if it's not the best sleep you've ever had, we'll pick it up and give you your money back. Go to helixsleep.com/talkradio right now, and we'll give you $50 towards your custom mattress. That's helixsleep.com/talkradio.
Earnings vary based on your effort. Message and data rates may apply.
Do you want to learn how to make money flipping houses right here in Chicago? If so, we have an amazing opportunity for you. We're looking for a small group of motivated individuals to join our real estate investing team. You'll learn our simple 3-step system for flipping homes right here in the local area. This is Than Merrill, star of A&E's hit TV show Flip This House. My team and I are looking for a handful of people in the Chicago area who want to learn how to make money flipping houses in your spare time using other people's money. Chicago is a perfect market for my system, and next week I'm holding a free 2-hour educational workshop where you will learn how to make money flipping homes and how to build long-term wealth with income properties.
To get 2 free tickets to Than's workshop, text HOME to 82,000. Seating is extremely limited. Text in the next 10 minutes and you'll also receive a free copy of Than's Money for Deals Guide. Text HOME to 82,000. That's HOME to 82,000.
I have a great idea for the new year. If you haven't bought your MyPillow yet, get the buy one, get one free offer because it has been extended through January 31st. Remember, this deal is only available online using the promo code Amy. It is not available in stores, so I urge you to go online or call now and take advantage by using the promo code Amy. You'll get the absolute best deal available. MyPillow's absolutely helped me get a great night's sleep by moving the fill. I get the support I need regardless if I sleep on my back or side, and I do not wake up with a stiff neck or headache. They're made in America, and you can wash them and dry them. They're hypoallergenic. Plus, you have a 10-year warranty and a 60-day money-back guarantee. So get your buy one, get one free MyPillow by calling 800-489-0201. Use the promo code Amy or visit MyPillow.com. That's 800-489-0201. 800-489-0201. Promo code Amy.
Can the Supreme Court overturn state amendments? This is Law and Justice with Jay Sekulow.
If a state passes a constitutional amendment, can the Supreme Court come along and trump that constitutional amendment by calling it unconstitutional?
They can. The U.S. Supreme Court can say that an act of a state is unconstitutional. One of the interesting issues here will be how the court views the marriage issue. And that's why it's so important that you see nominees to the Supreme Court in the United States that have a conservative judicial philosophy that will respect the will of the people in the deliberative process unless the act is really unconstitutional and not make social policy or political policy from the bench.
The American Center for Law and Justice is here to defend our religious liberties. Learn more about the American Center for Law and Justice on our website at aclj.org. That's aclj.org.
AM 560, The Answer.
Hey, it's that time of year again. Snow and cold here. Sub-zero temperature is a great time for you to go to 560theanswer.com/passport and come with us to Secrets, Maroma Beach, Riviera, Cancun Resort and Spa, and Riviera, Mexico. It has 9 gourmet restaurants, 6 bars, all the bells and whistles. It's a beautiful property. Adults only. Book your trip now. 560theanswer.com/passport. Our good friends at Apple Vacations have secured an incredible price for us, an exclusive to us, but it's only available for a limited time, so don't miss out. Enjoy a week in Riviera Maya, Mexico. 560theanswer.com.
When are we going again?
/passport. We are going April 21st through April 28th, Saturday to Saturday. And you're going to love it there. You've never been to Cancun. I can't wait to show you. But I consider like my second home. It's really fun.
I'm looking forward to it, apparently.
Thanks so much to Justin Kosick, our technical producer, our associate producer, Quinn McCarthy, and to Keith Conrad, our executive producer. Everybody have a safe, wonderful weekend. Love the 4-day work week. We're back here Monday morning at 5 a.m. Now into the newsroom we go. Dave Stewart did a wonderful job all week filling in for Mike Scott.
Well, thanks, Amy. Thanks, Dan. Among the stories we're watching today, the city's taking action against landlords who are not providing heat. That and other local stories after an update from Fox News on AM 560 The Answer. WIND Chicago, it's 9 o'clock.